Chapter 413, Chapter 413, Chapter 234, Strength Advances, 10,000 Demon Sect. Chapter 413, Chapter 234, Strength Advances, 10,000 Demon Sect. Lease reading Omicronem Novel Cool. Omicronem, the fierce ghost sect, was destroyed overnight, with most traces obliterated and the valuable treasures within the sect looted. The only thing that remained relatively intact was the book collection pavilion, which housed various cultivation techniques. The Demon Suppression Army had the intention of collecting the variety of martial arts and cultivation techniques, in addition to eradicating unstable elements of the human race when exterminating the 100 sects. Although no other resources were seized this time, the harvest could still be considered fruitful. Lu Yun also checked the fierce ghost sect's cultivation techniques. There were only two that could be practiced to reach the rune seed realm, the 10,000 Ghost Scripture and the Earth Dark Mind Scripture. Both of these techniques were incompatible with the pure Yang martial arts canon, so Lu Yun didn't collect them. Instead, he ordered Qing Ho to place them in the treasure hall of the 18th battleship. In addition, after a day of recuperation, Lu Yun consumed another 20,000 energy points to increase the completion level of the Golden Body episode to 10%, adding another 5 law runes. With the initial 5 law runes, there were now 10 in total. As the number of law runes increased, the total amount of pure Yang strong origin decreased. Law runes were formed by condensing one's physical body and pure Yang strong origin into runes. After leveraging the laws, they would fuse with each other and form the powerful diamond-shaped law runes. The power contained within the law runes could be referred to as divine power, which was far superior to true origin. Once one entered the rune seed realm, the more runes that were engraved on the rune, the more terrifying the divine power would be. Of course, that was a matter for the future. Standing on the battleship and watching the ruined mountains getting farther away, Lu Yun felt a twinge of regret. He had hoped that by participating in the extermination war, he would be able to acquire a considerable fortune, or even a priceless treasure like the one found in Wei Zongqing. However, someone had been a step ahead of him. At a mountain range millions of miles away from the fierce ghost sect, a young man in a black robe sat cross-legged, surrounded by black runes. He had an evil but handsome face. This person was Han Feng, who had escaped from Lu Yun's hands using a spatial talisman a few days prior. At this moment, 3 powers were intertwining within him: the power of extreme Yang, the power of destruction, and the power of evil. His eyes were tightly closed, and his body trembled from time to time, as if he were suffering from pain. An hour later, unable to bear the pain any longer, he took out a bottle and poured out a drop of blood containing the ultimate evil aura. After swallowing it, the evil power began to grow stronger, eventually suppressing the other 2 forces. As time went on, the powers of extreme Yang and destruction gradually subsided. The surrounding environment was no longer as violent as before, but was now shrouded in a strange silence. Another hour passed, and the young man in the black robe finally opened his eyes slowly. Not only did he severely injure me, but he also forced me to waste a spatial talisman and a drop of extreme Yin blood. I swear to take revenge, he said, now in a terrible mood. He had initially planned to absorb the thousands of martial artists from the fierce ghost sect and the tens of thousands of people from Westward City to directly reach the peak of the rune seed realm. However, against all odds, he had come across a martial artist at the Golden Body realm. A measly Golden Body realm martial artist, no matter how talented, should not have been a threat to him. But after fighting for a while, this Golden Body realm martial artist had unleashed a power even greater than his own. Neither his Abyss Prison Divine ability nor his Yin Spirit Banner could trap the opponent. As a result, he wanted to retreat right away. However, the adversary persisted and not only injured him severely, but also forced him to waste a spatial talisman to escape. Surely he must avenge this hatred, or else it would undermine his dignity as a demon venerable. It was at this moment that he sensed a faint power emerging from his wounded flesh, and then rapidly growing stronger, transforming into a surge of vitality that soon repaired his broken body. Eventually, even his entire aura was enhanced, instantly reaching the peak of the late-stage rune seed realm. Sensing this powerful aura, the young man in the black robe revealed a sinister smile in his dark eyes. I didn't expect that being injured would actually help me overcome the last barriers between my body and soul, allowing them to fully fuse as one. In that case, I should thank that kid. However, can you withstand my gratitude? He could sense that after the complete integration of his soul and body, his strength had increased even further. If they fought again, he definitely wouldn't be the one trying to flee in despair. I don't know which city this is, but my current objective is still to recover my strength. Otherwise, if I encounter even stronger martial artists, I still won't be able to cope. With that, Han Feng flew out of the mountain range in search of another human city. On a vast plain, a city stood tall with its high walls engraved with 3 fluttering characters: South Valley City. About 3 times the size of Westward City, South Valley City bustled with noise, and lights filled the streets, creating a lively scene. Suddenly, a black light appeared in the sky above the city and hid itself within the high clouds. This city has more than 500,000 people and should have quite a few martial artists. If I can completely devour them all, even if it doesn't help me recover to the Golden Core realm, it should be more than enough to reach the peak of the Rune Seed realm, said Han Feng, greed flickering in his eyes as he gazed at the bustling city below. However, having learned from his previous mistake, he was now much more cautious and didn't make a move right away. Chapter 414, Chapter 414, Chapter 234, Strength Advances, 10,000 Demon Sect, _2, Chapter 414, Chapter 234, Strength Advances, 10,000 Demon Sect, _2, Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron, and with that, he concealed his evil aura, and his black robe transformed into a white one. A folding fan suddenly appeared in his hand. Before long, a stunningly handsome young man clad in white entered South Valley City and strolled through the streets. This young man in white was Han Feng. After wandering about, he discovered that the strongest aura in the city only belonged to someone in the early stage Rune Seed realm. To ordinary people, the early stage Rune Seed realm was an unattainable existence. But for him, it was nothing. He could annihilate it with a flip of his hand. However, just to be cautious, he decided not to make a move and entered a restaurant instead. This restaurant was quite luxurious, and all kinds of martial artists patronized it. The weakest among them were in the Meridian Passage realm, with occasional appearances from those in the Transforming Origin realm and even the Origin Fluid realm. Han Feng sat alone by the window, drinking wine. His white attire and handsome face attracted many beautiful young women who tried to strike up a conversation with him. Of course, the young man in white didn't refuse any of them. Through their conversations, he confirmed that there were no gold body realm demonic creatures in South Valley City. Once bitten by a snake, Han Feng was still worried about encountering the same situation as last time. To be honest, even though his soul and body had now completely fused together, and his strength had progressed even further, he still felt a sense of fear towards Lu Yun. If he were to encounter another demonic being like Lu Yun, he wouldn't have another spatial talisman to use. After conducting his own thorough investigation and interrogating more than 10 people, he finally relaxed, and his eyes gradually grew sinister. Why do I suddenly feel a little cold? The beautiful girl seated across from him couldn't help shivering and murmured her confusion. Cold! A frosty, emotionless voice echoed in her ears. Immediately after, she saw a scene she would never forget in her life. the elegant and exceptionally handsome white-clothed young man before her suddenly transformed. His appearance remained striking, but now exuded an extremely sinister and terrifying aura that sent chills down one's spine. The many martial artists in the restaurant also sensed the change, and a strong unease began to take hold in their hearts. As martial artists, their intuition was generally sharp, and their awareness of crises far exceeded ordinary people's imaginations. Subconsciously, they wanted to leave the restaurant to dispel the unease brewing within them, but they found that their bodies couldn't move, as if a tremendous force had bound them. "What's going on? I can't move." A middle-aged man, wearing brocade clothes, cried out in panic. He was an origin fluid realm martial artist, the strongest in the restaurant. Even within the entirety of South Valley City, he was among the top few. Now, however, he found himself unable to move, which greatly unsettled him. "Hee, all of you shall become one with me." Han Feng's white clothes gradually turned black, becoming a pitch-black robe again. The power of the runes spread out, forming a black curtain that engulfed the entire restaurant. All the martial artists within the restaurant had their faces frozen in terror as their bodies suddenly transformed into specks of light, dissipating into thin air. In no time, the tables in the restaurant were still littered with food and drinks, but there were no customers to be seen. Then, the black curtain began to spread in all directions with the restaurant at its core. No one, whether an ordinary citizen or an origin fluid realm martial artist, could escape from the advancing black curtain. Not even their bones remained. With his soul and body now completely fused and being a step closer to the peak of the rune realm, his control over divine abilities had improved even more. In the great hall of the City Lord's mansion, a robust man sat drinking alone. Upon hearing the clamor outside, his brow furrowed. Ever since he had been entrusted by the sect to oversee the city, few people dared to make a racket and create disturbances outside. He angrily gulped down a large mouthful of wine, his face contorted with irritation. Then he got up and walked towards the door. "If you don't want to die, keep quiet for me." A thunderous roar resounded throughout the entire City Lord's mansion, and even echoed across a 10-mile radius. However, this had no effect. The noise outside still persisted. Is someone daring to challenge my authority? With that, he flew into the sky above the City Lord's mansion, wanting to see who would dare to cause trouble. As he arrived in the air, he saw a shocking scene. Dark shadows intertwined, like a giant net covering more than half of South Valley City, and at a very fast speed, spreading towards the City Lord's mansion. Within those dark shadows, be it the ordinary people bustling on the streets or the martial artists in taverns and tea houses, all of them trembled and turned into spots of light, disappearing. Only Golden Body realm martial artists were able to survive, bursting out at their fastest speed, approaching the City Lord's mansion. However, giant black hands extended out from the dark shadows, grabbing towards these fleeing Golden Body realm martial artists. Once caught by the black hands, they would become trapped, as if held in place by some force, unable to move. Then all of their vitality and blood essence would be absorbed, and in the end, they would similarly turn into spots of light and disappear. "Eldritchin, help!" Those Golden Body realm martial artists who hadn't been caught by the black hands yet cried out upon seeing the burly man. The burly man was the City Lord of South Valley City, and also one of the elders of the Profound Darkness sect, named Chun Jung Tang. He hesitated for just a moment before turning to flee. Witnessing the strange black hands, he couldn't muster up any resistance at all. He knew his own strength. Although he could instantly kill a Golden Body realm martial artist, he couldn't make one's corpse completely disappear in just a few breaths' time. The flesh of a Golden Body realm martial artist was comparable to mysterious instruments. It wasn't difficult to destroy them, but to completely erase them, He couldn't do it. One rune seed realm is equivalent to 10 golden body realms. There's no way ID let you escape. Wearing a black robe with a distorted face, Han Feng appeared out of nowhere above Chen Zhengtang, blocking his path. Who are you, daring to cause trouble in my profound darkness sect's territory? Aren't you afraid that my sect's experts will kill you? Seeing this, Chen Zhengtang mustered up his courage and rebuked. Profound darkness sect. So I'm still within the territory of the profound darkness sect. That makes things even better. Han Feng said something that made no sense, then directly used his divine ability, Abyss Prison. Under this divine ability, even a formidable rune seed realm martial artist had no power to resist. He stood there stupefied in the air as black hands wrapped around him. Inside the profound darkness sect's main hall, the sect leader of the profound darkness sect sat there, and other rune seed realm experts, as well as golden core realm martial artists, were present, evidently discussing an important matter. At this time, the celestial master from Dragon Tiger Mountain arrived at the main hall. Upon seeing Zhang Danyang, the gloomy expression on the profound darkness sect leader's face finally eased a bit. Celestial Master Zhang is here. What's the matter? Are you preparing for a full-scale battle with the demon suppression army? Observing the solemn atmosphere in the main hall and the gloomy face of the profound darkness sect leader, the celestial master from Dragon Tiger Mountain's expression was rather calm. He was usually invited to participate in the profound darkness sect's meetings for matters related to the demon suppression army. So, he had already prepared himself before coming. The profound darkness sect leader shook his head slightly. 2 days ago, several 100,000 people in South Valley City suddenly disappeared, including one of our rune seed realm elders and a dozen stewards. There are less than 10 million people in our sect's territory. Losing hundreds of thousands of people at once is undoubtedly a huge loss to our sect. At this point, he paused for a moment. Moreover, to make hundreds of thousands of people, including a rune seed realm martial artist, disappear without a trace, this is definitely not something an ordinary person can do. I suspect that a golden core realm true master is behind this. Is the demon suppression army responsible for this? It should not be. Knowing the demon suppression army, they wouldn't act like this, and it's impossible for them to bypass us and go straight to South Valley City. Could it be the 10,000 Demons sect? With narrowed eyes, the celestial master from Dragon Tiger Mountain, Zhang Danyang, pointed out that the profound darkness domain was adjacent to the 10,000 demon domain. Profound darkness domain was ruled by the profound darkness sect, while the 10,000 demon domain was ruled by the 10,000 demons sect. The two sides had a lot of conflicts, and skirmishes were common. Now that the profound darkness sect was entangled with the demon suppression army, it would be normal for the 10,000 demons sect to take advantage of the situation. Chapter 415, Chapter 415, Chapter 235, Unlucky Han Feng, Advancing Lu Yun, Chapter 415, Chapter 235, Unlucky Han Feng, Advancing Lu Yun Lease Reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M. Is this South Valley City? Hovering above South Valley City, Zhang Danyang looked at the deserted city with some amazement in his eyes. There were no traces of fighting and no other unusual signs. The entire South Valley City, with its hundreds of thousands of residents, had vanished into thin air, which was truly bizarre. With a flash of his figure, he appeared on the street, looking at the neatly arranged goods in the shops on both sides of the street. Afterward, he went to the city lord's mansion. As the stronghold of the strongest force in South Valley City, the city lord's mansion was also empty, with no signs of any battle having taken place. When the profound darkness sect leader had requested him to investigate the matter, he had mentioned that there was an early rune seed realm cultivator and several dozen gold body realm martial artists stationed here. Even if there were invaders, there should be some traces left behind. But now, not only was there not a single living person in the huge South Valley city, but there was also not a single creature in sight. Zhang Danyang knew that even if he acted personally, he couldn't erase the traces so cleanly. Celestial Master Zhang, have you found anything yet? Another golden core, Realm True Master appeared, who was the great elder of the profound darkness sect, Chang Fei, who accompanied Zhang Danyang to investigate the cause. Zhang Danyang shook his head slightly. The other party was very cautious and didn't leave any traces. It's a bit different from the 10,000 demons sect's way of doing things. Hearing this, Chang Fei furrowed his brows. If it's not the 10,000 demons sect, then which power would have the guts and strength to do this? Let's investigate further. If we still can't find any traces, well, go to the 10,000 demons sect for information. All right. Chang Fei nodded. The reason for Zhang Danyang's involvement was to negotiate with the 10,000 demons sect. Normally, if such an incident occurred, the profound darkness sect wouldn't hesitate to go to war with the 10,000 demons sect. However, at this time, the profound darkness sect was fully engaged in battling the demon suppression army. If the 10,000 demons sect intervened, the profound darkness sect would be caught in a pincer attack. Right now, dealing with the demon suppression army was the main priority, so it was worth having the Dragon Tiger Mountain Celestial Master mediate. Honestly speaking, Chang Fei and the entire profound darkness sect believed that the incident was related to the 10,000 demons sect. Elder Chang, which city is nearest to South Valley City? Chang Fei pondered for a moment before saying, Celestial Master Zhang, please follow me. Immediately, the two broke the air and disappeared above South Valley City. I've reached the peak of the Rune Seed Realm. Han Feng spoke indifferently, seemingly satisfied with his current progress. To break through from the peak of the Rune Seed Realm to the Golden Core Realm, one needed to use the Rune Seed, as the core, rely on the laws as the carrier, and refine the Golden Core. At this moment, Han Feng was only a hair's breadth away from the limit of the Rune Seed Realm. According to his estimates, he would be able to advance as long as he had 200,000 souls. By then, as long as he stabilized his cultivation slightly and forcibly plundered 1 million more souls, he could return to the Golden Core Realm in one step. These souls could be any intelligent beings, whether they were demon beasts, sea clan, or human race. Of course, the human race was the weakest and most suitable target for him to attack. I'm getting closer and closer to the Golden Core Realm. When the time comes, I'll find that little kid and make him my nourishment. I am a demon, the supreme demon. You will all merge with me obediently. Suddenly, such a brazen voice resounded above Ridgeon City, echoing in everyone's ears. Which wretch dares to act recklessly in my territory? You're courting death. A cold and domineering voice sounded, and then a powerful Rune Seed Realm cultivator flew out from the City Lord's mansion in Ridgeon City. Boom! A surge of rune power suddenly rippled out and transformed into a giant palm that grabbed at Han Feng. Whoosh! Just as the giant palm was about to fall, Han Feng disappeared from his original position as if he had never been there. The Rune Seed Realm cultivator was slightly taken aback, and after searching around, he found no traces of anyone. Did he escape? Are you looking for me? Suddenly, a demonic voice came from behind the Rune Seed Realm powerhouse, immediately sending chills down his spine. He slowly turned around and saw Han Feng with a mocking smile on his face. Immediately after, the focus in his pupils gradually enlarged, and his body fell into a state of stagnation. Let us start with you. Very soon, this Rune Seed Realm powerhouse was engulfed by darkness. In the City Lord's mansion, on the martial arts training ground, Elder Lin, A gold body realm martial artist's face was filled with terror as his body trembled uncontrollably. He couldn't believe his eyes. Elder Lin, as strong as he was, didn't last a single round in the hands of the black-robed powerhouse before being completely subdued. What terrified him the most was Elder Lin, an early-stage rune seed realm cultivator, gradually disappearing. Witnessing all this, he felt as if he had fallen into an abyss of icy darkness, with boundless fear and despair growing and spreading deep inside his soul. What kind of power is that? Brother Huang, what's wrong? Another gold body, realm martial artist, pushed him lightly and asked with confusion. Alt, after waking up, he looked at the sky again, but there were no traces left, only a clear blue sky. However, he was sure that what he saw earlier wasn't false, so he anxiously said, "Run! Escape Ridgeon City immediately and get as far away as possible." Without waiting for a response from the other, he fled towards the city lord's mansion's exit. Fearing that he would attract the attention of the other party, he didn't dare to fly, but instead, he merged into the stream of people on the streets and hurried towards the city's exit. Truly inexplicable, the gold body realm martial artist murmured before disregarding the incident and carrying on with his own tasks. Chapter 416, Chapter 416, Chapter 235, Unlucky Han Feng, Advancing Lu Yun _2, Chapter 416, Chapter 235, Unlucky Han Feng, Advancing Lu Yun _2, Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M. It's a pity that there are so few martial artists in the rune seed realm. Otherwise, with just a dozen or so, I could reach the limit of the rune seed realm. Han Feng stood emotionlessly in the sky above Ridgeon City, unaffected by the endless gales. Next, it's time to enjoy a good feast. Open, curtain of 10,000 transformations. Bizarre rune seeds emerged from his body, and a series of black diamond-shaped runes burst out, turning into a vast black flood, quickly engulfing the entire Ridgeon City. After advancing to the peak of the rune seed realm, his divine ability had greatly increased, and it was not a problem to cover Ridgeon City. Zhang Danyang and Chang Fei were rushing to Ridgeon City at full speed when they suddenly felt a powerful fluctuation from ahead. The two exchanged a silent glance. Celestial Master Zhang, you were right. The other party has indeed struck again. Let me see what kind of person the culprit is. Zhang Danyang snorted coldly and suddenly accelerated. The speed of a peak golden core realm expert when they went all out was astonishing. In just a dozen breaths, they arrived thousands of miles away in the sky above Ridgeon City. Haha, comfortable. It's just so comfortable. Han Feng revealed a pleased smile, very satisfied with his harvest. The Ridgeon City below, with a population of over 200,000, had now become an empty city, and his strength had already reached the limit of the rune seed realm, only one step away from condensing the golden core. As long as I recultivate the golden core, even a true master of the golden core realm would have to obediently become nourishment under my abyss prison and curtain of 10,000 transformations. Han Feng put away the rune seeds, waved his sleeve, and a black soul flag appeared, collecting the remaining resentful souls of Ridgeon City. There's no trace left now. Han Feng nodded in satisfaction, preparing to leave and find the next city. But in the next instant, his face changed dramatically, his heart raced, and even the rune seeds at their limits trembled violently. Boom! A giant hand descended from the distant sky. The power of this giant hand seemed to have surpassed what the surrounding space could bear, as various spatial ripples emerged and layers broke apart. This should be at least a peak golden core realm strength. How did I suddenly catch the attention of such a strong opponent? In his prime, he was a celestial human expert, so he naturally knew the means of a peak golden core realm expert who could not only move mountains but could also seal the void. At this point, he didn't even have a chance to use the spatial talisman. You can't run, so just give up resisting obediently. I promise not to kill you." Although Zhang Danyang arrived a bit late, he still saw what the other party did to swallow martial artists and ordinary humans. They were instantly devoured, with no ability to resist. Such a method appeared in the hands of a rune seed realm expert, which naturally made him both surprised and curious. I must have been seen by the other party when I performed my divine ability, so I absolutely cannot fall into their hands. Han Feng had only this thought in his heart. His divine ability would be greatly appealing even to heavenly human realm experts, let alone Golden Core realm experts. However, it wouldn't be easy to escape from the hands of a peak true master of the Golden Core realm. It seems I only have one way out. Thinking of this, Han Feng's eyes revealed a hint of ruthlessness and determination. Just as the giant hand was about to fall, Han Feng suddenly exploded his rune seeds, unleashing a terrifying power. Boom! Immeasurable shock waves and earth-shaking roars erupted. The mountains below that spanned tens of thousands of miles collapsed, and the continuous mountain ranges were completely overturned into flat land within a few breaths. On the other hand, the plains were violently upheaved, turning into rolling hills. This was the power resulting from a peak rune seed realm expert's self-explosion. So stubborn, even willing to shatter their own body and soul to avoid falling into my hands? Zhang Danyang stood somewhat frustrated in midair, watching the scene before him and letting out a sigh. Whoosh! A flicker of light, and Chang Fei caught up, looking at the scene with a puzzled expression in his eyes. "Celestial Master Zhang, what just happened?" He didn't want to be caught by me, so he self-destructed his rune seeds. Rune seeds? Yes, he was a rune seed realm expert who seemed to have mastered a divine ability that allowed him to devour living beings to strengthen himself. "It's a pity we didn't capture him," Zhang Danyang said regretfully. "This is indeed a bit troublesome. We haven't found out whether he has any connection with the 10,000 Demons sect yet." "No worries. Well, personally pay a visit to the 10,000 Demons sect. Then we shall know." "All right. Well, trouble, Celestial Master Zhang." With that, the two disappeared from their original spots. Not long after Zhang Danyang and Chang Fei left, a black light gradually emerged within a charred basin. Elsewhere, Lu Yun and his subordinate demon extermination generals gathered around a star plate. On the star plate, illusory images floated above it. There were cities, mountains, and plains. Besides that, there were many foggy areas with numerous yellow dots, red dots, and blue dots. From the appearance of Broken Mountain City, Westward City, Fierce Ghost Mountain Range, etc., it could be deduced that the region displayed on the star plate was the Netherworld realm. As for the cities, mountains, plains, etc., they were all occupied by the Demon Suppression Army. The foggy regions were still under the control of the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces. There were plenty of yellow dots, representing cities with a gathering population. There were about 23 red dots, symbolizing the subordinate forces of the Profound Darkness sect. There was only one blue dot with a large range, which stood out the most on the star plate. That was the base of the Profound Darkness sect. Lu Yun pointed to two yellow dots, then towards a red dot, connecting them together before speaking indifferently. "Our next targets are Yellow Harvest City, Flat Hill City, and then straight into South Nether Prefecture to strike at the Sky Brilliance sect." We obey. Everyone took their orders and then retreated. They all understood that Lu Yun was still yearning for the conquest of sects. Otherwise, he would not have been so determined to go straight into the Sky Brilliance sect. According to the original marching route, all the armies would march together, taking care of each other to guard against any changes. So after capturing a city, they would take a short rest, not only to recover their peak state, but also to wait for the others. Now, the Fierce Ghost sect had been destroyed, and they hadn't participated in the battle. Although they had rested for a day, Their progress was still ahead of the other armies. However, even so, they hadn't encountered any strong enemies, as the profound darkness sect seemed to have contracted its forces, making them more and more courageous, even hoping to kill their way to South Nether Prefecture early, annihilate the Sky Brilliance sect, and make up for the losses of the last time. After the others left, Lu Yun began to sit in meditation again. Now, he had already raised the progress of the Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon Golden Body chapter to full completion by 13%, and on his Yuan Hai there were 13 rhombus runes with powerful energy. Half a day later, the 14th law rune was engraved. At the same time, a huge battleship appeared in the sky above Yellow Harvest City. Lu Yun stepped out and saw figures soaring into the sky, attacking them, seeking death. Lu Yun's eyes gradually became covered with purple. Instantly, thunderbolts erupted and terrifying thunderous lights burst out of his purple pupils, directly bombarding the people below. The 7th rank thunderbolt intent was incredibly powerful, and the peak golden body realm couldn't bear it at all. Accompanied by a series of tragic screams, only one person remained in the sky, Zhang Taiqiang, who was at the early stage of Rune Seed Realm. On the other side, after casually dispatching a dozen Golden Body Realm opponents, Lu Yun approached by stepping on air, his gaze falling on Zhang Taiqiang in front of him. The two stood in the void, facing each other, one filled with confidence, the other shivering slightly. One move. After uttering this indifferently, Lu Yun's momentum exploded, and he pointed out a finger. Formless Tribulation Finger. To deal with an early-stage Rune Seed Realm opponent, Lu Yun didn't need to go all out, not even using a third of his strength. However, upon witnessing the might of this finger, Zhang Taiqiang's face changed dramatically, and his heart cried out, "I'm doomed." The finger fell, and the powerful force erupted, piercing through Zhang Taiqiang's early-stage Rune Seed Realm body before he could even react. Even his most core rune seed was pierced through. His life force dissipated, dead beyond dead. Give you 1 day's time, behead all remnants of sects in this city, and appease the city's people. With that, Lu Yun returned to the battleship. Chapter 417, Chapter 417, Chapter 236, Two Fists, Two Fingers, Chapter 417, Chapter 236, Two Fists, Two Fingers. Lease reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M Yellow Harvest City. This time, Lu Yun obtained 1 7th grade pill from the Rune Seed Realm martial artist he killed, and more than 10 6th grade pills from the defeated Golden Body Realm martial artists. The higher the grade of a pill, the rarer it is. Even these Golden Body Realm and Rune Seed Realm martial artists would usually take the pill right away after obtaining it, leaving only 1 or 2 as a precaution, so there are very few left behind. Lu Yun didn't care about it. After returning to his cultivation room, he refined them into energy values. Name: Lu Yun Factions, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 14%, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th level, 100% Destruction, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 2nd level, Unparalleled Blood Blade, 100%, Wind Thunder Manual, 3rd level, Instant Horizon 100%, 5th Scripture, 2nd level, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture, 1st level, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Innate Talent, Level 9 Martial Arts, Golden Body Realm Peak, 14 runes, Energy Value, 215,000, automatically increases by 50 per day, Conception, Slaughter Conception, 7th rank 1%, Thunder Conception, 7th rank 1%, Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%, Skills, Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talent, White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Karma Value, 101, Note 1. Karma value can be used to upgrade weapons or artifacts and fuse similar types of weapons. Note 2. Martial Academy's Saint Child. Increases by 1 every day. Demon Extermination Army Earth Rank Demon Extermination General. Increases by 1 every day. Lu Yun checked his stats and found that his luck value had reached 101. It takes 100 luck value points to upgrade a mid-level mysterious weapon to a top-grade mysterious weapon. The Dragon Scale Saber is a mid-level mysterious weapon and has reached the level of upgradability. After some consideration, Lu Yun decided not to upgrade the Dragon Scale Saber. Now, if he were to use his full power, he would barely be able to handle a top-grade mysterious weapon. Moreover, his strength is constantly improving, and it won't be long before even a top-grade mysterious weapon cannot meet his needs. Although he couldn't directly upgrade, he could still fuse weapons. Fusing 2 weapons of the same type requires relatively fewer karma value points and is more cost-effective. With a thought, 2 glowing lights appeared in front of Lu Yun. As the glow faded, 2 powerful sabers were revealed. One of them is the Dragon Scale Saber, a mid-level mysterious weapon, just 1 step away from top grade. It has been with Lu Yun since the Origin Fluid realm. A tall, robust martial artist dressed in a black robe asked, "Elder Song, during your recent visit to the sect, did you receive any instructions?" This man is Wu Feng, one of the Rune Seed Realm powerhouses in Flat Hill City. Currently, the Demon Suppression Army has split into multiple factions, advancing in parallel, intending to gradually infiltrate the profound darkness domain. As the one responsible for guarding Flat Hill City, he is naturally anxious. In front of him is a thin middle-aged man, also dressed in a black robe, with a goatee. He is Song Jian, another Rune Seed Realm powerhouse in Flat Hill City, who has just returned from the main base of the Profound Darkness sect. According to the arrangements of the sect's high-level officials, we should try to buy as much time as possible. As long as the Demon Suppression Army doesn't rush to battle, our Profound Darkness sect welcomes it. So, you mean we too have to hold Flat Hill City to our deaths? Wu Feng said in a low voice. Chapter 418, Chapter 418. Chapter 236, 2 fists, 2 fingers 2. Chapter 418, Chapter 236, 2 fists, 2 fingers 2. Lease reading Omicron N novel cool. Omicron M. Song Jian nodded. Indeed, that's the case. For a while, both men fell into a brief silence. They were both very clear in their hearts that the Profound Darkness sect wanted to use their lives to slow down the advance of the Demon Suppression Army. But knowing this, what's the use? Could they resist? Obviously, they couldn't. It didn't matter if it was Wu Feng or Song Jian. Both had family and loved ones behind them. If they dared to have a different heart, not only would they struggle to maintain their lives, their family and relatives would also be implicated. Elder Wu, I have not gained nothing this time. It is said that the Demon Suppression Army responsible for attacking our Flat Hill City is relatively weak, with less than 10,000 men, and only one of them possesses the strength of the Rune Seed realm. If we could wipe out this Demon Suppression Army, provided we operate properly, there might be a possibility of returning to the sect. Upon hearing this, Wu Feng's eyes shone. Is this true? Absolutely true. However, the Demon Suppression Army is known for being brave and good at fighting. Among them, there are many exceptionally talented individuals. To dare to attack Flat Hill City with this level of strength, they must have some reliance. Song Jian stroked his goatee, pondering, we need to take the initiative to attack in order to eliminate them. Take the initiative to attack. Wu Feng shook his head. Every Demon Suppression Army has an equally powerful warship. We simply cannot break their defense. When he spoke to this point, he abruptly stopped, looking towards the distant sky. Eyes shrinking, he trembled and said, Elder Song, they have already arrived. What has arrived? Song Jian looked at him dubiously, then followed his gaze and looked back, only to see the sky tens of miles away turn pitch black. The dark sky was not due to the clouds, but a gigantic warship. Surrounding it were several warships that were relatively smaller in size. How could they be this fast? According to the intel I received, this demon suppression army is supposed to arrive in 3 or 4 days. Despite the surprise, he didn't panic, but analyzed. They arrived so quickly, it is apparent that they ventured deep into enemy territory alone. It will take some time for their backup to arrive, making it easier for us to eliminate them. Before long, the number 18 warship broke through the clouds and slowly descended. The outline of a vast city appeared in the view of the demon extermination generals. We have reached the Flat Hill City. Qing Ho stood with his hands behind, smiling lightly. Yi Xian, who was on the side, showed an indifferent expression. The force of Flat Hill City is not weak. This battle will probably be tough. While speaking, his eyes swept over the city wall in the distance. The martial artists on it were already prepared, but they didn't show any signs of panic. The cities they had taken before, upon seeing the Demon Suppression Army's warship, were all scared stiff. This showed that the martial artists stationed in Flat Hill City were quite strong. With the general here, the Flat Hill City will fall in a snap. Qing Ho said unconcernedly. As his words fell, Lu Yun appeared before them. The whole army, attack! The faint voice, containing a wonderful power, reached the ears of every demon extermination general and demon extermination guard. By the time the demon suppression army was ready to set off, Lu Yun's figure had already vanished from the spot, within a blink appearing above the walls of Flat Hill City. At this moment, boom, 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 2 terrifying auras erupted from Flat Hill City. Their auras exploded, and the 2 men, both at the Rune Seed Realm, rose into the air directly surrounding Lu Yun. At the same time, 18 individuals at the Golden Body Realm flew out from the city. Together with 5 on the city wall, a total of 23 Golden Body Realm individuals. In Lu Yun's command, there were only 21 Earth-rank demon extermination generals, including 2 who had recently broken through to the Golden Body Realm and were promoted to Earth-rank demon extermination generals. At this moment, even a mere Flat Hill City had a top-notch power surpassing the Demon Suppression Army. Therefore, it's no wonder why they were so confident. I heard that the Demon Suppression Army, Far Suppression Legion, spawned a monster who was promoted to an Earth-rank demon extermination general with the strength of the Golden Body Realm. It seems that the rumors are true. Song Jian scrutinized Lu Yun with his raw eyes, his voice hoarse, saying with a murderous chilling intent, "Didn't expect. My fame has spread so fast that even you demons know about me." Lu Yun said with a steady expression, speaking in a gentle tone. Wu Feng, who had a burly figure, said, "I know that every Earth-rank demon extermination general of the Demon Suppression Army has the strength of the Rune Seed Realm. For you to break the rules and become an Earth-rank demon extermination general taking command of a Demon Suppression Army, your strength must be exceptional. However, here we have 2 Rune Seed Realms. Elder Song is even at the mid-stage of the Rune Seed Realm. I really don't know how you dare to venture deep into enemy territory and attack our Flat Hill City." As soon as he finished speaking, he took the initiative to attack, and his powerful rune exploded, covering the sky. At the same time, Song Jian also attacked right away, striking down with one palm. Lu Yun revealed a faint smile on his face. His yuan high surged, with a light flickering around him. Meanwhile, he pointed out the power of heaven and earth adding onto it. Seemingly forming a roaring waterfall, the formidable aura was awe-inspiring. Formless tribulation finger. Boom, boom. The 2 powerful energies collided with each other. Then both were annihilated into nothingness. Immediately afterwards, the seventh rank of Thunderbolt intent erupted, stimulating the 3,000 Thunder movement. Lu Yun transformed into a frightening thunder field, forcing Wu Feng back. Next, the terrifying physical strength was activated, under the help of the vast, pure Yang strong origin, and some rune forces. A punch was blasted out. Sky Lion shaking the sky. The terrifying punch abruptly erupted, shaking the void. Elder Song, be careful! Wu Feng's face immediately changed. He exerted all his rune ability onto a black spear, then disappeared. The next moment, he appeared on the side of Lu Yun. Chapter 419, Chapter 419, Chapter 236, Two Fists, Two Fingers _3, Chapter 419, Chapter 236, Two Fists, Two Fingers _3. Least reading Omicron N novel cool. Omicron M with a thrust of his spear, he tried to stop Lu Yun's attack and share the pressure with Song Jian at the same time. However, Lu Yun's assault was too fast. The force it exploded with was too fierce. His counterattack barely dissipated some of the power, not even 1/10 of it. The rest of the force came crashing down, unstoppable. Song Jian, Rune Seed Realm midstage. His strength far surpassed Wu Feng, but at this moment, a strong unease arose in his heart. He wanted to dodge, yet he found himself stunned. For an instant, his body halted, as if struck by something. By the time he reacted, the punch had already reached him. Boom! The force of hundreds of dragons blasted upon him, sending him flying. In an instant, his gold body shattered, blood and flesh splattering. Damn, how is he so powerful? Getting hit heavily with just one punch upon their first clash, on the brink of death, such strength was far beyond his expectations. However, what he felt more was panic. The fact that his opponent could endure his full-force punch surprised Lu Yun slightly, but understanding dawned upon him once he saw the shattered armor. Sky Lion shaking the sky. 10% of its force was blocked by another Rune Seed Realm fighter. 0% of the force was absorbed by the opponent's armor. Only 50% of the force landed on his body. Knowing this, Lu Yun threw another punch. Die for me! He punched. The golden heavenly lion roared. Its momentum like a storm was coming. It howled towards its target. Boom! All the power exploded. Song Jian died a sure death. Elder Song, just like that, he's gone? Wu Feng couldn't believe his own eyes. Song Jian, who was in the mid-stage of Rune Seed Realm, was killed by a demon suppression soldier, who was at the peak of Gold Body Realm with just 2 punches. He didn't have any ability to resist. Devil, he's a devil. After he screamed, he had no intent to fight. He turned and ran. At this moment, he had forgotten about his family, his kin, everything. When faced with fear, all one's previous bellicose will collapse completely. This is the state Wu Feng is in now. Seems like you do know your abilities, but it's too late now. While he spoke, Lu Yun formed a seal with a finger. Boom! The formless tribulation finger, like a falling star, pierced through Wu Feng's body. Mid-air, flesh and blood splattered. A rune seed floated out. Lu Yun swiftly caught it. His power surged. The rune seed shattered, transforming into streaks of light, fading into the world. Facing 2 Rune Seed Realm fighters, Lu Yun, from start to end, threw 2 punches, pointed 2 fingers, and hastily ended the fight in a clean sweep. As for the fights among the Gold Body Realm and below, they were rather intense. Dark Cloud Manor, Golden Armor City, on top of a majestic city wall. The Gold Body Realm martial artist, who was responsible for patrol, Huang Ping, sensed a vigorous disturbance from far away, and his face turned solemn. You all carry on with the patrol. I have to report something important to Elder Chen. After giving orders, Huang Ping disappeared from the city wall and flew towards the city. Elder Chen, there is an intense battle happening in Flat Hill City. The Demon Suppression Army might have initiated the sneak attack. Should we send in reinforcements? In front of him, a powerful elder's face turned solemn. The golden armor city that he was in charge of securing was located just a few thousand miles from Flat Hill City. If Flat Hill City was to be attacked by the Demon Suppression Army, the golden armor city he was defending would also be in danger. After some contemplation, his eyes flashed an unusual look. Then he said calmly, "Our duty is to defend the golden armor city. However, the concept of if the lips are gone, the teeth will be cold can't be ignored. So we have to assist them. You take temporary charge of the city. I will go alone to assist them." At his words, Huang Ping's eyes brightened. He promptly agreed. "Elder Qin, rest assured, during your absence I will manage all matters of the city properly." Elder Qin nodded slightly, then left the city lord's mansion and headed towards Flat Hill City. "I can't stay here for too long. If I delay for a few more days, it might cost me my life." After leaving Golden Armor City, he headed in the opposite direction of Flat Hill City. Chapter 420, Chapter 420, Chapter 237. Influence Attack. Chapter 420, Chapter 237. Influence Attack. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M. Far Suppression Legion. Inside the main hall of worship, By Changfeng looked at the suddenly disappeared yellow dot on the star plate, his face slightly surprised. He had already received the news that Lu Yun's 18th warship was quickly advancing, capturing cities one after another, and not long ago it conquered Yellow Harvest City. Now, another large city has been captured. Judging by their marching direction, it must be the Demon Suppression Army led by Lu Yun. According to the news, Flat Hill City is not weak in strength, with 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses guarding it, and more than 20 Gold Body Realm martial artists. In terms of strength, it is not much inferior to an average sect. Now, from the situation displayed on the star plate, Flat Hill City has been captured, and the next step is to enter the South Nether Prefecture. However, Lu Yun's deep penetration alone can easily be besieged by the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces, which will inevitably damage the strength of our Far Suppression Legion. Bai Changfeng's voice was serious. Even he would not dare to enter the South Nether Prefecture alone, like Lu Yun, always slowing down the pace and advancing together with Warship No. 5 and Warship N09. "General, how should we proceed?" Another black-rank demon extermination general asked. Upon hearing this, Bai Changfeng said, "Zuojisong, Hongxingwu, Wei Zongqing. We will arrive at South Nether Prefecture in 3 days." Zuojisong, Hongxingwu, and Wei Zongqing are Earth-rank demon extermination generals who are in charge of Warship N05, Warship N09, and Warship N013 respectively. The Demon Suppression Armies they lead have similar marching routes to Lu Yun's, with the next target being South Nether Prefecture. Now, the Demon Suppression Army, led by Lu Yun, is about to reach the South Nether Prefecture, and they cannot fall too far behind. Otherwise, they will be easily defeated one by the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces. Warship N05. A burly man with thick eyebrows and big eyes looked at the movements on the star plate, his face somewhat complicated. Is it a newborn calf? Or does he have enough confidence in his own strength to enter the South Nether Prefecture in such a hurry? This man is Earth-rank Demon Extermination General Zuojisong, who is in the late Rune Seed Realm. When the region of Flat Hill City appeared on the star plate, he knew what was going on. "General, I heard that the strength of Flat Hill City is not weak, and there is even a mid-Rune Seed Realm elder of the Profound Darkness sect guarding it. Can Lu Yun take it down because his strength has reached the mid-Rune Seed Realm?" Next to him, Shi Kaitai, the strongest black-rank demon extermination general on Warship N018, spoke with emotion. He had already condensed rune seeds early on, and they were even top-grade rune seeds, possessing a strong ability to fight across levels. He was not an opponent for the average rune seed realm early stage among the 100 sects. Now, knowing that Lu Yun had taken down Flat Hill City, he felt very complicated inside. Once upon a time, when Lu Yun was promoted to Earth-rank Demon Extermination General with only the Origin Fluid Realm cultivation base, he despised him deeply. But now, not much time has passed, and Lu Yun could even take down Flat Hill City, which was guarded by a mid-rune seed realm powerhouse. Sui Jisong ignored Shi Kaitai's complicated emotions, his gaze firmly on the star plate, and said indifferently, "It seems that we must speed up our progress as well. Order the Demon Extermination Generals under our command to speed up the attack on the Blackwater sect, and then quickly advance towards South Nether Prefecture. General, if we are too aggressive, our losses may be quite significant," Shi Kaitai said. "We can't worry about that anymore. If the Demon Suppression Army, led by Lu Yun, encounters an accident, it will directly affect our success or failure in capturing South Nether Prefecture." Then, Sui Jisong added in a low voice, "I believe that others will be more anxious than us." Shi Kaitai didn't understand, but he still obediently followed the order, notifying the other Demon Extermination Generals to launch a full-scale attack on the Blackwater sect. I knew Lu Yun was not simple. In the blink of an eye, he took down Flat Hill City, and even plans to be the first to attack South Nether Prefecture. On Warship N013, Wei Zongqing couldn't help but burst into laughter when he saw the disappearance of the red dot belonging to Flat Hill City on the star plate. Immediately, he commanded Shi Siming next to him, "Stop recuperating, let the army continue to move forward. Capture Big Lake City within 1 day, then directly take Golden Armor City, and finally enter South Nether Prefecture." On the other hand, Lu Yun didn't know that taking down Flat Hill City had a significant impact on his colleagues. Flat Hill City has a population of more than 700,000 people. It is not easy to fully integrate it. Lu Yun gave Yi Xian and others 2 days to complete the task. Within 2 days, they must eliminate all the remnants and completely stabilize the hearts of the people in Flat Hill City. As for himself, he found a secluded place near Flat Hill City and continued to practice. Prior to the battle, after killing 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses, he killed 12 Gold Body Realm fighters, seizing a lot of things. Pills and spiritual objects were all refined by him and converted into energy value. The other items, including weapons and cultivation techniques, were all collected into the Sumi Ring to be processed together after the end of the war. 2 days passed slowly. Name: Lu Yun Force, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army, Cultivation Technique. Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 20%. Omitted: Innate Talent, Level 9 Martial Arts, Peak Golden Body Realm, 20 Law Runes. Energy Value, 313,000, automatically increased by 50 per day. Conceptions: Slaughter Conception, 7th rank 1%. Thunder Conception, 7th rank 1%. Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%. Skills: Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talents: White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck Value, 7 after 2 days of hard cultivation. His law runes increased by 5 again, reaching 20. Chapter 421, Chapter 421, Chapter 237. Influence, Attack. _2. Chapter 421, Chapter 237. Influence, Attack. _2. Lease reading Omicron N. Novel Cool. Omicron M. Each law rune contains a powerful force. That kind of power is far beyond pure Yang strong origin, and the two are completely different levels of power. Just inscribing 20 runes, my strength has increased by more than 50% compared to when I first entered the peak of the Golden Body Realm. If I inscribed 100 runes and condensed them into a rune seed, I would have the power to fight even at the peak of the Rune Seed realm. Feeling the formidable power contained in his body, Lu Yun muttered to himself. After finishing his cultivation, he looked up at the sky, where the stars were hidden and dawn was approaching. It's time to leave. In a blink of an eye, Lu Yun stood up, deployed Instant Horizon, and disappeared from the spot. How is Flat Hill City now? After returning to Warship 18, Lu Yun immediately summoned black-rank demon extermination generals like Yi Xian and Qing Ho. Reporting, "General, the mission is accomplished," said Yi Xian, a black-rank demon extermination general, respectfully. "Very well. Inform the whole army. We will set off in an hour. Our destination is South Nether Prefecture, Sky Brilliance Sect." An hour later, the warship started and soared into the sky. The rumbling sound echoed over Flat Hill City. I've long heard that the Morijin Demon Suppression Army is a righteous force, and now it seems that the rumors are true. After entering Flat Hill City, apart from searching for and exterminating the remnants of the Profound Darkness sect, they have not committed any crimes against ordinary people and martial artists. An unknown patriarch of a small family watched the colossal warship and sighed. Behind him, a little girl with a bun on her head said sweetly, "Father, I heard that in the near future, Morijin will establish a martial academy in Flat Hill City, and anyone under the age of 15 who has a level 2 innate talent can enroll." "Yes, Cheener, you will definitely be able to enter the martial academy in the future and become a transforming Origin realm, even the legendary Origin Fluid Realm powerhouse. For clans like theirs, without cultivation techniques, the true Chi realm is already their limit. However, it's thanks to them being a small family that they were able to survive. All the large families were connected to the Profound Darkness sect or other sects, and even their direct descendants were part of their sections. After the Demon Suppression Army entered Flat Hill City, these large families were subjected to a brutal bloodbath. Only the strongest in the city had true Chi realm. In the city lord's residence, a refined, middle-aged man revealed a complex emotion on his face as the Demon Suppression Army's warship disappeared into the horizon. "I never thought that I, a mere true Chi realm loose practitioner, would one day become the garrison commander of a city with hundreds of thousands of inhabitants." He was a loose practitioner named Fong Tianfan from Flat Hill City. He had good social connections and a clean identity without any ties to the Profound Darkness sect or other sections. Meanwhile, Fong Tianfan made significant contributions during Yi Xian and other demon extermination generals' operations to clean up the remnants of the Profound Darkness sect in Flat Hill City. With his good management abilities and the top cultivation of his current realm, Yi Xian promoted him to deputy garrison commander, fully handling all affairs of Flat Hill City before the imperial court's appointment arrives. Even though he was only the deputy garrison commander, this opportunity was invaluable to him. Now that I've become the garrison commander, I should make appropriate achievements. Maybe later, the imperial court will appoint me as the real garrison commander of Flat Hill City. Dark Cloud Manor, Golden Armor City. 2 days have passed, and Elderchin should be back by now, right? Huang Ping gazed into the direction of Flat Hill City while standing on the city wall, talking to himself. 2 days ago, Elderchin went to Flat Hill City to provide support and asked him to handle Golden Armor City's affairs. However, shortly after Elderchin left, the battle fluctuations in Flat Hill City disappeared, signaling that the battle had ended. But Elderchin never returned, which raised some doubts in his mind. Even the right to rule a city didn't make him feel any joy. Was Flat Hill City taken after all? A thought emerged in his heart. At this moment, he seemed to have sensed something and looked up at the distant sky. A gigantic warship broke through the air, followed by several smaller warships, emanating a strong oppressive atmosphere as they approached Golden Armor City. "It's over, everything is over." Huang Ping's eyes widened, and his body trembled slightly. As a steward of the Profound Darkness sect, he had some understanding of the demon suppression army of Morijin. Every fleet, at the very least, had an Earth-rank demon extermination general stationed at its core. Every Earth-rank demon extermination general had at least the combat power of the Rune Seed realm. Under their command, there were no less than 20 gold-body realm black-rank demon extermination generals. At present, in Golden Armor City, including himself, there were only 6 gold-body realm martial artists. With such strength, it was impossible to resist an Earth-rank demon extermination general, let alone deal with the black-rank demon extermination generals under their command. Elder Qin must have encountered some misfortune. With my current strength, it's undoubtedly futile to try and block this demon suppression army. Judging by this warship speed, it will take about 15 minutes to reach Golden Armor City. His eyes filled with determination. He then turned to the other gold-body realm martial artists beside him. Everyone, the demon suppression army is already approaching. Elder Chen's whereabouts are unknown, and it is impossible for us to defend Golden Armor City with our current strength. If we fall into the hands of the demon suppression army, there will be no chance of survival. Now, we must find our own way to survive. With that, he fled the city. The remaining gold-body realm martial artists looked at each other with faces showing indecision. Huang Ping is a lone and helpless man, while the rest of us have families and attachments. If we abandon the city without permission and are considered traitors, the consequences, as you all know. A relatively older gold-body realm martial artist said indifferently. Hearing this, the faces of those who were hesitant before changed slightly. As stewards of the Profound Darkness sect, they knew how severe the punishments for those who betrayed the sect were. For any traitor, their direct relatives within 3 generations would suffer the excruciating pain of having their tendons pulled out and their souls refined, which was extremely cruel, and they, as gold-body realm martial artists, each had a considerable family behind them. Fine, as an old man, I can't advance to the Rune Seed realm in my lifetime, and I don't have many decades left to live anyway. I'll live and die with Golden Armor City. After sighing, an elderly man dressed in a black robe, with white hair and gloomy eyes, revealed a trace of relief on his face. Of course, if he still had hope of breaking through to the Rune Seed realm, he might have followed Huang Ping directly and abandoned the city. Ha! Everyone, we've arrived at Golden Armor City. It'll give you 6 hours to take it down for me. Wei Zongqing laughed loudly, stepping onto the air and directly arriving above the Golden Armor City. I am the Earth-rank Demon Extermination General of the Far Suppression Legion, Wei Zongqing. If all those tied to the Profound Darkness sect and its subordinate forces in Golden Armor City abandon their cultivation and surrender obediently, I can spare your lives. The booming voice echoed over the Golden Armor City, reaching the ears of every martial artist and ordinary person. However, most people showed no significant reaction. The major families had already left Golden Armor City upon hearing of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival. What was left were mostly small families and ordinary people. Of course, some families were merely involved with the subordinate forces of the Profound Darkness sect and did not have the ability to leave the Dark Cloud Manor. When they heard of the Demon Suppression Army's arrival, they were completely panic-stricken. Humph! Abandoning our cultivation at this stage amounts to suicide. An old man burst out with his powerful strength, flying out of Golden Armor City and coldly saying, "Since Morijin is not paving our way to survive, we have to," before finishing his sentence, he was obliterated by a punch. The person who dealt the blow was a half-step Rune Seed, Realm, Black Rank, Demon Extermination, General under Wei Zongqing's command. I remember that there's supposed to be a rune seed realm martial artist responsible for guarding Golden Armor City. Where is he? Why hasn't he shown up? Did he run away? Wei Zongqing asked indifferently. He must have been scared away by the general's formidable reputation. One of the black-rank demon extermination generals by his side immediately flattered. Nonsense. I'm only at the middle stage of the rune seed realm, and am just an ordinary earth-rank demon extermination general among the Far Suppression Legion. What reputation do I have? Hee, who doesn't know that the general wields a black mountain seal? With it, you can even kill peak rune seed realm fighters. That's true. Wei Zongqing nodded slightly before commanding. Since there's no rune seed realm powerhouse in Golden Armor City, I won't compete with you for military merits. In less than 2 hours, the 5 gold body realm martial artists guarding the Golden Armor City and other martial artists were wiped out. The defensive forces of Golden Armor City are so weak. Could it be that the Profound Darkness sect has already recalled all its main forces to their headquarters? Wei Zongqing stroked his chin, analyzing the situation in his heart. Meanwhile, he took out the star plate and erased the yellow dot representing Golden Armor City. Chapter 422, Chapter 422, Chapter 238, Ambush 3 Swords and 9 Swords Array, Chapter 422, Chapter 238, Ambush 3 Swords and 9 Swords Array, lease reading Omicron and Novelcool. Omicron and Profound Darkness sect. Brother Zhang, have you gained anything on this trip? After learning that Zhang Danyang and Chang Fei had returned, the sect leader of the Profound Darkness sect personally went out to meet them. There was no choice. The Demon Suppression Army was pressing on their boundaries, occupying nearly a quarter of their domain in the Profound Darkness domain, and was about to force their way to the main base of the Profound Darkness sect. The crisis was imminent if the 10,000 Demons sect, a former fierce rival, were to stab them in the back. The Profound Darkness sect would face enemies from both front and rear. The mastermind behind the South Valley City issue is just a rune seed realm insect. However, his divine ability is quite bizarre. I originally intended to capture and study him, but he turned out to be a decisive person willing to self-detonate his rune seed rather than be captured alive by me. Zhang Danyang spoke casually, still feeling regretful as he thought of Han Feng's resolute self-destruction under his own immense divine ability. To someone as strong as him, a rune seed realm cultivator was indeed not much different from an insect. However, Han Feng's divine ability was quite peculiar, as he devoured the life force and blood of more than 100,000 people under Zhang Danyang's watch, thus strengthening himself. Zhang was also quite curious about such a divine ability. So, does this man have anything to do with the 10,000 Demons sect? The sect leader of the Profound Darkness sect asked further. Sect leader, this matter should have nothing to do with the 10,000 Demons sect. At this time, Chang Fei timely spoke up. Zhang Danyang and I personally went to the 10,000 Demons sect and found that they were also targets of the Morijin Demon Suppression Army. At this moment, they are busy dealing with a powerful Demon Suppression Army legion, and would not take the initiative to offend our Profound Darkness sect. At this moment, Zhang Danyang also nodded. I originally wanted to see if we could bring the 10,000 Demons sect into our camp, but it seems that they are struggling as well. Seeing this, the Profound Darkness sect leader's face instantly revealed a relieved expression. Originally worried that the 10,000 Demons sect was causing trouble behind their backs, they suddenly discovered that their rivals were also in the same predicament, which not only gave them a sigh of relief, but also brought inexplicable comfort to their hearts. Sect leader, on my way here, I heard that Dark Cloud Manor has fallen, along with Bright Splendor Prefecture, Maple Forest Prefecture, and Sunblaze Prefecture, which have almost fallen into the hands of the Demon Suppression Army. When will our Profound Darkness sect counterattack. Hearing this, the profound darkness sect leader looked at Zhang Danyang and said, "I have a plan in mind, but I still need to discuss it with Celestial Master Zhang." Zhang Danyang said, "My Dragon Tiger Mountain has been trampled by the Demon Suppression Army, and now I wander like a rootless duckweed, hoping to resolve the current disaster and rebuild my mountain gate. If Sect Leader Ling has any strategies, please feel free to share." In the end, his face was full of indignation. For 1,000 years, Dragon Tiger Mountain lost its mountain gate to Morijin twice, which deepened his hatred for Morijin. But he also knew that with Dragon Tiger Mountain's strength, trying to resist the Morijin Demon Suppression Army was undoubtedly like striking a rock with an egg. The Demon Suppression Army was too powerful. Just one legion was enough to sweep a region, and 2 legions forced both Dragon Tiger Mountain and the Profound Darkness Sect to retract their power. For this reason, he had to be cautious. The sect leader of the Profound Darkness Sect nodded and said, "In that case, let us summon the true masters of the Golden Core realm from both parties to discuss together in the main hall." All right. After leaving Flat Hill City, Battlecruiser 18 directly sailed into South Nether Prefecture. South Nether Prefecture was home to 3 major sects: the Sky Brilliance Sect, Cloud Jade Pavilion, and Rashomon Sect. Among them, the Sky Brilliance Sect had the strongest overall strength. According to the information obtained by the Demon Suppression Army, the Sky Brilliance Sect had 3 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses: Sect Master Gongsun Shuorom, Rune Seed Realm Mid-Stage, barely had the combat power of the Rune Seed Realm Late Stage, with the help of the sect's treasure. Supreme Elder Li Chuansho, Rune Seed Realm Mid-Stage, had been in seclusion for nearly 100 years at this realm and was on the verge of breaking through. Second Supreme Elder Guan Daozhou, Rune Seed Realm Early Stage. Although Guan Daozhou was weak in combat, he was a 7th-grade alchemist and very wealthy. It was precisely for this reason that Lu Yun decided to target the Sky Brilliance Sect. Only Earth-rank demon extermination generals and above were aware of this information. Black-rank demon extermination generals and lower were not qualified to know it. If people like Yi Xian and Qing Ho knew that they were about to face such a powerful foundation of the Sky Brilliance Sect, they would probably not be so spirited and high-spirited. During these days, following Lu Yun, everything had been smooth sailing, almost without encountering any strong enemies. Even if there were, they were all killed instantly by Lu Yun, with Yi Xian, Qing Ho, and others following behind to cheer and clean up the aftermath. They had accumulated many military merits and would receive many rewards once the battle was over. Moreover, as long as they reached the Rune Seed Realm, they could advance further. Now, seeing the exuberant and battle-spirited demon extermination generals under his command, Lu Yun smiled faintly. These demon extermination generals, in normal times, were each proud and rebellious, but after showing off a few of his skills and killing a few Rune Seed Realm powerhouses, he had completely subdued them. Thinking of this, Lu Yun felt a sense of pride in his heart. Unfortunately, neither Yi Xian nor Qing Ho had strong potential. At most, they would reach the Rune Seed Realm, unable to catch up with his progress in the future. Regaining his composure, Lu Yun prepared to return to cultivation. They had just entered South Nether Prefecture, and the Sky Brilliance Sect was still tens of thousands of miles away, so it would take some time to get there. Inside a large mountain, a dozen strands of rainbow light converged. These rainbow lights were each a different color, and within them stood a figure. As the rainbow lights receded, these people, men and women, all over 40 years old, had different temperaments. Some were as sharp as sword radiance, others steady as a rock or as cunning as a jackal. Moreover, each of them had an incredibly powerful aura, with the weakest being in the late stage of the Golden Body Realm, while the rest were in the peak of the Golden Body Realm or the half-step Rune Seed Realm. Chapter 423. Chapter 423. Chapter 238. Ambush 3 sabers and 9. Chapter 423. Chapter 238. Ambush 3 sabers and 9. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M Swords Array _2. There were 3 auras that were the most powerful, and they were all in the rune seed realm. Among them, the most powerful was an old man with white hair and a crane-like face, who had already reached the middle stage of the rune seed realm. He glanced at the other 2 strong people, who were also exuding rune seed realm aura, and smiled. "Brother One, sister you're finally here." One of them, a middle-aged man with a powerful aura, spoke vigorously and laughed. "As it concerns the survival of our sect, Rashamon's sect naturally takes it seriously. After receiving the news from your esteemed sect, we immediately set out." Rashamon's sect was one of the 3 major powers in South Nether Prefecture. Its strength and heritage were slightly inferior to that of Sky Brilliant's sect, but it also had a middle-stage rune seed realm expert. This middle-aged man was Rashamon's sect's deputy sect master, Wan Ingji. He had not been in the rune seed realm early stage for long, and was invited by Sky Brilliant's sect to come here and jointly attack the demon suppression army. An elderly white-haired woman beside him also nodded. "Indeed, our Cloud Jade Pavilion also attaches great importance to this joint attack. However, Brother Lee, how do you plan to take action? Although our strength is not weak, we only have 13 people who came in haste. If we are not fully prepared, I'm afraid we won't even be able to break the defenses of their battleships, let alone block the enemy." This elderly woman was the Supreme Elder of Cloud Jade Pavilion. She had originally planned to go into seclusion, but hearing of the demon suppression army's arrival, she had to pick up the burden again. Among the crowd, Sky Brilliant Sect's Supreme Elder, Li Chuancho, had the strongest strength. Additionally, Sky Brilliant's sect had taken the lead on this matter, so everyone's eyes were focused on him. Li Chuancho smiled slightly and looked around, saying, "What do the 2 of you think of the terrain here?" Upon hearing this, both the deputy sect master, Wan Ingji, and the elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion were taken aback, as they had hurried here without paying attention to the terrain. After being reminded by Li Chuancho, they began to check for any special features of the place. A dozen breaths later, Deputy Sect Master Wan Ingji frowned. "The heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here is quite rich, but it still doesn't compare to where our sects are located. Apart from this, I really can't see anything remarkable." The elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion remained silent, apparently not finding anything special about the place either. At that moment, a cold voice suddenly sounded. "Supreme Elder, not only is the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here more accessible, but there are also 3 towering peaks, with 9 other equally massive peaks connected to it. This kind of terrain is a natural place for laying out arrays." The speaker was a woman in her early 20s with a gorgeous face, a slender body, and straight legs. She was wearing a white skirt, and she had an ethereal and elegant air about her. After being reminded by her, the elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion carefully observed the 3 towering, sword-like peaks beneath her feet, each connected to 3 other 1,000-feet-high peaks. "Ha! This young one has good eyes," spotting the mystery at a glance. Li Chuancho laughed lightly. "Thank you for the compliment, Senior Li. The younger generation was just lucky to see a little clue." Wan Ingji said, "Brother Li, the weakest of the demon suppression army's battleships is of treasure rank, with no shortage of superior treasure and even spirit-ranked battleships. Will the array that we hurriedly set up be able to break their defenses?" As the deputy sect master of Rashamon's sect, he also knew about the demon suppression army of Morijin. Not only did they have powerful demon extermination generals, but they also had battleships that could travel tens of thousands of miles a day with unparalleled defense. Among them, the main ships of each legion were at least at the spirit artifact level, and even a Golden Core realm expert could not break their defenses in a short time. The other secondary ships were superior treasures, and even if they could set up a large array, it could only deal a blow with the power comparable to the peak of the Rune Seed realm. Brother Juan, don't worry. I chose this ambush location for a reason. Li Chuanzhou stroked his beard and smiled. The defense of the Demon Suppression Army's battleships is indeed terrifying, but it also requires the corresponding strength to fully unleash it. As for the leader of the Demon Suppression Army, we are ambushing this time. Although he is a monster, he is merely at the Golden Body realm. Even if his combat power is terrifying, he cannot fully activate the battleship's defenses. Apart from that, the natural terrain here is not inferior to the 9 peaks of our Sky Brilliance sect. If we were to arrange the 3 sabers and 9 swords array, coupled with the rich heavenly and earthly spiritual chi here, it would certainly deliver a full-force blow comparable to the peak of the Rune Seed realm. At this point, Li Chuanzhou showed a confident smile on his face. The 3 sabers and 9 swords array was one of the inheritances of Sky Brilliance sect. If 12 Rune Seed realm martial artists were the main array, it could even unleash a power comparable to a true master of the Golden Core realm. The elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion said, "If what Elderly said is true, we can rely on the 3 sabers and 9 swords array to break the defenses of the Demon Suppression Army's battleships. But to meet one person's condition, how can we ensure that the Demon Suppression Army will pass through here?" Wan Ingji also nodded. South Nether Prefecture is so vast, and the Demon Suppression Army's target is one of our 3 sections. The likelihood of them passing through here is minuscule. Li Chuanzhou smiled awkwardly. "I apologize for not informing you in advance. The Demon Suppression Army we're intercepting this time is coming from Flat Hill City in Dark Cloud Manor, and its target is directly aimed at our Sky Brilliance sect. So they will definitely pass through here, and the likelihood of our successful ambush here is very high." Rashamon's sect and Cloud Jade Pavilion's people suddenly understood. It turned out that Sky Brilliance sect was trying to use their help to jointly resolve their own crisis. However, at this point, retreating was clearly impossible. Both of you, rest assured, as long as we eliminate this Demon Suppression Army, when other Demon Suppression Armies attack your sects, my Sky Brilliance sect will not stand idly by, Li Chuanzhou said sincerely. "Don't worry, we will do our best, but I hope Elderly will not go back on his word then. Of course, as long as our 3 sects join forces and unite, even without the help of the Profound Darkness sect, we can still preserve our sect inheritance." Mentioning the Profound Darkness sect, everyone's faces soured. The Profound Darkness sect, in order to maintain its own power, had actually retracted its forces, leaving these vassal forces to fend for themselves. This was truly infuriating. If not for the Profound Darkness sect, they would not have been targeted by Meridian's Demon Suppression Army. At this moment, they were not protected by the Profound Darkness sect, and were instead implicated. Naturally, they had complaints in their hearts. The 18th warship, along with several warships following behind it, boldly passed through the air above South Nether Prefecture. As the distance to the Sky Brilliance sect grew closer, Yi Xian and the other black-ranked demon extermination generals felt both nervous and excited. Under the leadership of their previous Earth-ranked demon extermination general, they hadn't accomplished breaking a sect, only destroying cities at most. Eventually, during the battle with the White Lotus sect, their previous general died at the hands of a Rune Seed realm mid-stage expert. Now, under Lu Yun's leadership, they had first destroyed the Fierce Ghost sect, and were currently going to war against the Sky Brilliance sect, which naturally made them anxious. After all, the fall of the Fierce Ghost sect was not much to do with them. They just took advantage of the situation. But now, they were truly attacking the Sky Brilliance sect. "Brother Yi, when will we arrive at the Sky Brilliance sect?" I'm eager to have a good fight. After patrolling the warship and finding nothing unusual, Qing Ho came over to ask Yi Xian about the situation. During Lu Yun's seclusion, the star plate had been entrusted to Yi Xian. He took out the star plate, and after activating it, a map of the profound darkness domain appeared with a small part of it enlarged. At this time, several yellow points were marked on the map, as well as 3 conspicuous red points, representing the Sky Brilliance Sect, Rashomon Sect, and Cloud Jade Pavilion, respectively. In addition, a light group was slowly moving towards the direction of the Sky Brilliance Sect. Yi Xian looked at the star plate, and after carefully observing it, he said in a low voice, according to our current speed, it will take about 12 to 13 hours. Ah, it seems we still have to wait a while. All right, hurry back to patrol and prevent any sea beasts from attacking. All right. In this maritime area, there were often powerful sea beasts hovering in the air, always keeping an eye on the human race. When they encountered warships, they would also take the initiative to attack. On their journey, they had already defeated many powerful sea beasts. They even encountered a 7th-rank sea beast, once that Lu Yun had to deal with personally. Therefore, when Yi Xian mentioned sea beasts, Qing Ho became more cautious and didn't take it lightly. The black-rank demon extermination generals were responsible for patrolling in turns. Today, it was his turn to patrol, and if there were any accidents, the responsibility would fall on him. He could not help but be cautious. An hour later, the 18th warship approached a range of rolling mountains. Standing on the spacious deck outside the warship, one could see 12 massive and magnificent peaks from afar. Among them, 3 peaks soared into the sky like pillars, appearing majestic and magnificent. Chapter 424, Chapter 424, Chapter 239. It seems like we become a burden. Chapter 424, Chapter 239. It seems like we've become a burden. Lise reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron and they've arrived. Feeling the change in the flow of energy between heaven and earth, Li Chuanshou knew that the Sky Brilliance Sect's guess was not wrong. The efforts they had made in preparation here were not wasted. His eyes flashed with shadows. Then he said faintly, "Everyone, please enter the array." The elderly woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion and the vice sect master of Rashomon Sect, Waningji, looked at each other, nodded slightly, then turned their eyes to the young and charming, extraordinarily beautiful heavenly pride of Cloud Jade Pavilion behind them and instructed, "Wei Wei, you are at a lower cultivation level and only need to activate the array." "Yes." The woman called Wei Wei responded. Immediately, 12 rainbows soared into the sky. Li Chuanshou, Waningji, and the white-haired old woman of Cloud Jade Pavilion, who had the greatest strength, each took one of the 3 largest peaks. The other 9 martial artists at the peak of the Golden Body Realm took the remaining 9 peaks. 12 peaks, each a point in the array, which harnesses the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi and principles in a 10,000 li radius to launch a supremely strong attack. Wei Wei, with her waterfall-like black hair, eyes like clear pools, skin shimmering with speckles of radiance, stared into the distant horizon. There, a massive battleship with overwhelming might and grandeur was breaking through the sky. A huge flag hung on the battleship, inscribed with the 2 massive characters, Demon Suppression. The Demon Suppression Army had arrived. Everyone else also saw the Demon Suppression Army's battleship. Its massive figure was all too conspicuous. They could feel a heavy, oppressive sensation from a long way off. The instant Wei Wei saw the arrival of the Demon Suppression Army's battleship, she formed hand seals and launched a blackened light towards the ground under her feet. The core of the 3 sabers and 9 swords array was here, and it immediately burst forth a dazzling green light that soared into the sky. When the green light shot up to the same height as the 3 giant peaks where Li Chuanshou and others holding rune seed realms stood, It extended in all directions, forming a huge light curtain, which quickly covered the 12 peaks. At the same time, the powers defending the 12 peaks each unleashed a different colored blackened light, which entered the green light curtain that covered the sky. In an instant, a surge of dazzling light and magnificent rainbows occasionally erupted with loud roars, with a whirlwind that hurled sand and stones all around. What is that? At the moment this scene occurred, it was immediately discovered by Qing Ho, who was on patrol. Seeing the sudden surge of light in the distance and the overwhelming might it caused, he instantly felt a sense of foreboding. As a result, before reporting to Lu Yun, he immediately activated the battleship's defensive array. Each battleship had a powerful defense system that could unleash immense power if fully activated. Brilliant light shone all around, and a golden radiance immediately enveloped the entire battleship. The movement caused by Qing Hao's activation of the array quickly alerted Yi Xian, Fang Hui, and Meng Fan, the black-rank demon extermination generals. Qing Ho, what happened? Activating the battleship's defensive array without Lu Yun's permission should not have been allowed. Yet before Qing Ho could respond, they saw the thundering clouds and dazzling rainbows over the 12 peaks in the distance, as though they were brewing some terrifying power. We are being ambushed. Everyone quickly join me in activating the array. Qing Ho, with bulging veins on his forehead and sweat pouring down, yelled. Obviously, activating the array was a huge drain for him. Yi Xian and the others also understood the seriousness of the situation. Without taking the time to report to Lu Yun, who was in seclusion, they all marshaled their own powers to activate the array together. With the addition of Yi Xian and the others, the golden light shrouding the outside of the battleship became even brighter, to the point where they could vaguely see golden patterns circulating on it. 3 sabers and 9 swords array, rise. An icy and ruthless voice suddenly echoed, and within the light curtain covering the 12 peaks, monstrous powers immediately surged. Shuh! Wave after wave of green light emerged, condensing into gigantic green swords. Each sword was 1,000 feet long and exuded fierce might, as if wanting to cleave the heavens and the earth. That was not the end. After the 9 green colossal swords appeared, the light curtain once again had 3 purple lights shooting towards the sky. These 3 purple lights turned into a purple saber aura after shooting into the sky. The aura spanned across the world with unrivaled might. Kill! Accompanied by an icy voice, the 3 colossal purple saber auras and 9 green colossal swords swung down from the distant horizon, as if they had pierced through space and passed through time. In an instant, the 9 green colossal swords fell on the battleship. Boom, boom, boom. Sounds like thunder reverberated suddenly, shaking the massive battleship violently and making the golden protective light outside flicker. Yi Xian and others' faces turned pale, and they staggered. The power unleashed by these 9 green colossal swords reached the late rune seed realm. It was only through their full effort of activating the array that they barely withstood this strike. However, before they could recover, the 3 long-prepared saber auras descended with terrifying might. Crack! The moment the supremely mighty saber aura touched the battleship's protective shield, a crisp sound echoed. At the same time, all the black-rank demon extermination generals, including Yi Xian, staggered and spat out fresh blood from their mouths. Because Yi Xian was in the half-step rune seed realm, he was slightly better off and could barely still stand. Meanwhile, Qing Ho and others' faces turned deathly pale, and they staggered and collapsed on the battleship. It's over, everything's over. Fang Hui, laying on the battleship's deck, watched the supreme saber aura carrying residual might slowly descending, and felt a wave of despair rise in his heart. Chapter 425, Chapter 425, Chapter 239. It seems like we've become a burden. Part 2? Chapter 425, Chapter 239. It seems like we've become a burden. Part 2, Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M. At the same time, more than a dozen black-rank demon extermination generals activated their arrays, which were enough to defend against late-stage Rune Seed Realm experts' attacks. However, the blade in just a moment destroyed their defensive rune seeds, proving that its power had undoubtedly reached the peak of the Rune Seed Realm. Facing such a formidable power, no one on the 18 warships could stop it. Even Lu Yun, who had demonstrated his strongest combat strength in front of them, had barely reached the late-stage Rune Seed Realm. This level of combat strength, although already considered top-tier in the Far Suppression Legion, was still incapable of dealing with the upcoming crisis. Thinking about this, Feng Hui closed his eyes, preparing to await the arrival of death. Because of his full-force activation of the array, when the array was broken, he suffered a strong backlash and had no combat power at all. There was nothing he could do but quietly wait for death. I'm only half a step away from condensing rune seeds. I refuse to fall like this. Qingho struggled to stand, but his heavily injured body couldn't resist the oppressive force of the unparalleled blade. As the blade broke through the defensive array, the full extent of its power was about to be unleashed upon the warship when a flash of purple light suddenly burst into the sky. Within that light, a figure in black armor radiated a powerful aura, nearly suffocating the heavily injured Qingho and the others. Heavenly Lion shaking the sky. With a furious roar, Lu Yun unleashed a terrifying golden Heavenly Lion, hurtling toward the three descending blades. Boom! Clouds rolled, brilliant light flashed, the blades shattered, and a tsunami-like terrifying ripple spread, while Lu Yun's figure was also forced back by the shock. However, his sharp aura still soared to the peak, as if blocking this desperate blade was nothing more than a warm-up for him. You finally came out. Seeing Lu Yun appear in black armor, Yi Xian let out a long sigh of relief. No matter what, their lives were temporarily saved. At the same time, he immediately took out a pill surrounded by golden halos and swallowed it, recovering from his injuries. He knew that even if Lu Yun could deal with the terrifying blade, the crisis was far from over. As expected, just after he swallowed the pill, streaks of light tore through the sky in the distance, quickly approaching. Yi Xian, Qingho, and the others couldn't help but change their expressions. Their fears had come true. You all focus on recovering. Leave these people to me, said Lu Yun with an unparalleled confidence that made everyone feel at ease. As soon as the words fell, Lu Yun rose from the warship, reaching the depths of the sky in an instant, looking down on the approaching lights. 3 Rune Seed Realm, 10 Golden Body Realm. No wonder you dare to ambush here. Kill! With a cold command from Li Chuanzhou, the 12 people behind him simultaneously launched their ultimate moves and weapons, attacking Lu Yun. As Lu Yun's eyes flickered with divine light, a touch of extreme coldness spread. Unfortunately, you've encountered me. As soon as the words fell, the azure cloud dragon scale saber suddenly appeared in his hand, with surges of thunder radiating from it, emitting an astonishing rumbling. A powerful atmosphere was infused into the blade, and an unparalleled blade light instantly burst out, crushing the sky like a wild tsunami. In the distance, Li Chuanzhou and the others quickly approaching could not help but gasp for air, having never expected Lu Yun to erupt with such terrifying power. With one shocking slash, 5 people lost their lives. After the first slash, Lu Yun didn't give his enemies a chance to catch their breath, and the 3,000 thunder movement roared to life. Clang! The sound of metal clashing rang out continuously, and 3 more people died. These people, at least in the late and peak stages of the Gold Body Realm, had no chance of fighting back against Lu Yun's blade. They couldn't even see Lu Yun's figure, and by the time they reacted, everything was swallowed by an endless darkness. After killing several Gold Body Realm martial artists consecutively, Lu Yun's desire for battle intensified, and the black armor around him released a cold light that added to his awe-inspiring aura. Bang! The Rashomon sect's deputy sect master, Wan Yingji, unleashed an attack that landed heavily on Lu Yun's treasure artifact armor. The armor lit up with red light and revolving runes, reflecting the attack. A treasure artifact! Li Chuanshou, Wan Yingji, and the white-haired old lady from the Cloud Jade Pavilion cried out in surprise, at the same time murderous intent emerging in their eyes. They unleashed their powerful moves and attacked Lu Yun. It's worthy of being a treasure artifact. Even without fighting back, these people's attacks aren't necessarily able to break through my defense. That being said, Lu Yun had no intention of stopping his attacks. With one swipe of his saber, he forced the 3 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses to retreat. Then, he unleashed the Golden Edge Swordfang, turning it into 9 giant golden swords, and aimed at the remaining half-step Rune Seed Realm warrior. This half-step Rune Seed Realm powerhouse was from the Sky Brilliance sect. After seeing Lu Yun's instant killing of several people, he had been maintaining a distance, launching long-range attacks to support Li Chuanshou and the other 2 Rune Seed Realm powerhouses. At this moment, the 9 golden flying rainbows arrived in an instant, the overwhelming murderous aura enveloping him. Before he could react, his body was suddenly dismembered. Is this still a Gold Body Realm? Wei Wei was already scared. A mere Gold Body Realm martial artist was able to spare his hands to kill a half-step Rune Seed Realm powerhouse from the Sky Brilliance sect while being besieged by 3 Rune Seed Realm experts. You too, this youngster's strength is through the roof. We absolutely cannot hold back anymore. The white-haired Li Chuanshou, with a youthful face, shouted coldly. A long, slender sword appeared in his hand, and without moving, he swung it in several cutting and stabbing motions, unleashing frightful rune sword lights that surged towards Lu Yun. Only realizing now, isn't it a bit too late? As he spoke, Lu Yun's body turned into a bolt of lightning, quickly floating towards Li Chuanshou. He moved so quickly that Li wasn't even able to perceive his approach. He could only faintly feel that his rune sword light had been torn apart by a powerful force. TSS, TSS, TSS. In an instant, his eyes were occupied by an extremely blood-red saber light. How could this be? Li Quanxia's voice stopped abruptly, his eyes full of disbelief as he stared at his headless body. The Wan Yingji from Rashomon sect and the old woman from the Cloud Jade Pavilion were both shocked by this sudden turn of events. They stopped in their tracks and retreated frantically. Wei Wei, let's go. The white-haired old woman grabbed the cold-looking girl, who was shaking all over, and quickly moved away. The vice sect master of Rashomon sect, Wan Yingji, also turned into a bloodlight and escaped in another direction. After a brief period of thought, Lu Yun used the instant horizon, chasing after Wan Yingji. In a blink of an eye, he appeared in front of his target, slashing his saber down, and split him in 2. From Wan Yingzi's escape to Lu Yun catching up and killing him, the entire process only took a dozen breaths. However, when he looked back in the other direction, he had already lost the traces of the other 2. When a Rune Seed Realm powerhouse does everything in their power to escape, a dozen breaths are enough for them to flee beyond his range of detection. Moreover, at this point, Yi Xian and the others were suffering from backlash and had no fighting power. If he left them unguarded, accidents could occur. In the end, Lu Yun gave up on the pursuit, choosing to return to the warship to protect the cultivation of Yi Xian and the others. On the number 18 warship, everyone stared at Lu Yun dumbfounded. It was hard to believe that Lu Yun not only effortlessly resolved the nearly fatal crisis, but also killed his enemies with the power of thunder. His strength is probably close to the peak of the Rune Seed Realm. Such terrifying talent and ability to defeat superior opponents make him worth following. Yi Xian swept away his despondency, his eyes flickering with determination. He secretly decided that even if he broke through the rune seed realm, he would closely follow Lu Yun's footsteps. After exiting the battle state, the black armor on Lu Yun's body had already turned into a purple-black outfit that swayed gently in the breeze. He glanced at Qing Ho and the others who were adjusting their breathing, shaking his head slightly. Gold body realm powerhouses, though considered top-notch in other places, couldn't play a significant role at their side now. As his strength grew increasingly stronger, the gap between the demon extermination general under his command and himself became wider, like a vast chasm. Not only could they not provide any assistance, they might even become a burden. It seems that we have become a burden. Sensing Lu Yun's gaze, Qing Ho detected some clues and bitterly smiled in his heart. However, he soon calmed down. At present, he had inscribed 75 runes, reaching the limit of his body. Next, as long as he condensed rune seeds, he would be a half-step rune seed realm warrior. Since I've finally found a strong person to follow, I must hold on tightly. Having swept away his previous despondency, Qing Hao's face showed a determined and confident expression again. In the Far Suppression Legion, any half-step rune seed realm powerhouse would be considered an absolute, strong force. Chapter 426, Chapter 426, Chapter 240, The Gap Between the Golden Core Realm, Chapter 426, Chapter 240, The Gap Between the Golden Core, Realm Lease reading Omicron Novelcool. Omicron in a certain mountain forest. Two figures descended. One was an elderly white-haired woman with a chaotic aura, panting heavily as she landed on the ground. The other was a coldly beautiful woman with a captivating figure and a stunning face. Wei Wei, I forcibly used a forbidden technique to burn my remaining life force. I'm afraid I may not be able to return to the sect with you, the elderly woman said, her face devoid of any injuries. But only she truly knew the severity of her condition. She had joined forces with Li Chuanshou and others to orchestrate the 3 sabers and 9 swords array earlier, using her hidden potential in the process. Her subsequent battle and the use of her trump card further aggravated her condition. The most critical part was the reckless use of forbidden techniques that completely burned away her life force, leaving her with only a few years left to live. Seeing the elderly woman in such a fragile state, Wei Wei was determined to remain calm. Supreme Elder, you are the pillar of Cloud Jade Pavilion. I'm sure nothing will happen to you. I will definitely bring you back to the sect, she promised. Cloud Jade Pavilion. The elderly woman struggled to lift her eyes, looking in the direction of the endless sky and mountains where only white clouds could be seen. At this moment, she seemed to see something, a trace of longing in her scattered gaze. Wei Wei, the strength of the Demon Suppression Army is too powerful. Our sect may not withstand it. Even the Profound Darkness sect is under immense pressure right now. Our sect only has one path left, and that is to abandon everything and relocate the disciples out of the Profound Darkness domain. Originally, I intended to inform the Pavilion Master about this after the battle, but I'm afraid I don't have much time left. I can only entrust this matter with you. Supreme Elder, you will be fine. I will take you back. We will be there in no time. Just hold on. Ignoring her own need for rest, Wei Wei took the elderly woman and moved through the sky without any hesitation. The Sky Brilliance Sect's Supreme Elder, a mid-stage rune seed realm practitioner, was incredibly powerful. However, she had barely held on for a few rounds against the Demon Extermination General, which showed the terrifying strength of the enemy. She knew very well that if that terrifying Demon Extermination General caught up to them, she would not only be unable to save the Supreme Elder, but would also struggle to protect herself. Therefore, she dared not to pause at any cost. Elsewhere, after Yi Xian had recovered, Lu Yun casually walked to the peak of a towering mountain. Looking at the surrounding tall mountains, a sense of emotion filled his heart. Just 3 rune seed realms and a few golden body realms, taking advantage of the terrain, they were able to unleash power comparable to the peak of the rune seed realm. The power of arrays should not be underestimated. Lu Yun had rarely encountered arrays. The first time he witnessed one was when the Black Tiger Army used one to battle the demon beasts just outside the Spirit Marshal Prefecture of Green Cloud County. However, that array was a battle array that gathered the ruthless killing intent and strong blood energy of the Black Tiger Army soldiers to unleash enormous power. From the current situation, the people who attacked them not only utilized the terrain, but also mobilized all the heavenly and earthly spiritual chi within thousands of miles to unleash devastating power, easily breaking the defense of the number 18 battleship. If he had not exited his seclusion in time, the demon extermination general and a group of demon extermination guards on the battleship would have suffered severely or even worse, lethal damage. Even with the power weakened by the protective shield, the remaining force was still not something the late-stage rune seed realm could withstand. Among the demon extermination generals like Yi Xian, the most powerful was only a half-step rune seed realm. Adding to that, they suffered heavy injuries due to backlash. Facing the aforementioned attack, it would indeed be a deadly end. In the future, we will surely encounter more unexpected situations like this. I cannot always be there to resolve the crisis for them. After defeating the profound darkness sect, I will find an opportunity to improve this situation. What Lu Yun thought of was to request from Wei Tianluan to deploy 2 rune seed realm experts to assist him in managing the demon suppression army. Alternatively, he could give up his command and join a different, more powerful demon suppression army. This way, he could both accommodate himself and ensure the safety of the others. Time flowed on, and 2 days later, the battleship set off again. By this point, all the black-rank demon extermination generals had fully recovered from their injuries, and Qingho had condensed his rune seeds, becoming the second half-step rune seed realm after Yi Xian. Although 1 half-step rune seed realm was not much of a help to Lu Yun, it was a top-notch combat power for the demon suppression army of the number 18 battleship, greatly enhancing their overall strength. The battleship rapidly approached the Sky Brilliance sect. According to their current speed, it would take several more hours to arrive. During this time, Lu Yun did not idle. He continued to enhance his cultivation, martial arts, boundless and infinite. Furthermore, he was only at the peak of the golden body realm and had a long way to go before he could condense rune seeds. As the battles against the 100 sects intensified, the enemies he encountered in the future would become stronger. The stronger his own cultivation was, the more risk he could hedge against. Unfortunately, the process of engraving runes was a step-by-step progression. Otherwise, he would have used all his energy to elevate his pure young martial arts canon golden body chapter to perfection. Doing so would significantly damage his foundation and could even affect the quality of the rune seeds he could condense. At the moment, I have 25 runes. Increasing by 2 runes every day is my limit. At this rate, it will take me at least 1 more month to condense a superior rune seed. 1 month to engrave nearly 100 runes was a speed that no heavenly pride could match. However, Lu Yun still felt it was too slow. Chapter 427. Chapter 427. Chapter 240. The gap between the Golden Core Realm _2. Chapter 427. Chapter 240. The gap between the Golden Core Realm _2. Lease reading Omicron N novel cool. Omicron M. My limit is not just 100 runes, which means it will take even longer to condense and refine rune seeds. Lu Yun pondered. At present, He only knew that as long as the Golden Body episode of the pure Yang martial arts canon was raised to the perfection limit, the number of runes could reach 100. However, after achieving perfection, he didn't know how many more runes could be added at the Reach Profound realm and the Perceived Truth realm that might follow. Thus, Lu Yun could not be sure of his own limits, nor could he know how long it would take to promote condensing rune seeds and trigger thunder tribulation specifically. Dismissing those thoughts, he focused on opening the panel. Name: Lu Yun Power, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 25%, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual, 5th Layer, Destruction 100%, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 2nd Layer, Unparalleled Blood Blade 100%, Wind Thunder Manual, 3rd Layer, Instant Horizon 100%, Fifth Scripture, 2nd Layer, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture, 1st Layer, Formless Tribulation Finger 100%, Innate Talent, Level 9 Martial Arts, Golden Body Realm Peak, 25 runes, Energy Value, for 93,000 increased by 50 per day, Conception Slaughter Conception, 7th rank %, Thunder Conception, 7th rank 1%, Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%. Skill, Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talent, White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck Value, 2. The energy value on the panel had not only not decreased, but had increased by several 100,000. Lu Yun's explosive increase in energy value, of course, came from refining all the pills he had previously scavenged. Consume 10,000 energy points to increase Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon Golden Body Episode to perfection 27%. As the cultivation technique was being upgraded, a golden diamond-shaped rune gradually formed above his Yuan Hai. The formation of diamond-shaped runes was not a one-time process, but a continuous one. Lu Yun had also figured out a way to use the panel to greatly reduce the duration of this process. By relying on his own hard work and not adding points through the panel, he first sensed the existence of laws, carefully attracted them into the golden body, and then manipulated the pure Yang strong origin to serve as a carrier for bearing the law, thus forming a law rune. With Lu Yun's level 9 and 8 talent, it would take 2 days and 2 nights to complete this process. By adding points through the panel, however, it greatly shortened the process. An hour later, a brand new diamond-shaped rune was formed. Another 2 hours went by, and a second rune formed. 2 runes were the limit for the day. Still, Lu Yun didn't stop cultivating. He controlled these 2 runes to increase his mastery over them. Rune control was different compared to the pure Yang strong origin. Each rune was an individual entity and differed from each other, so it took some time to adapt to them. As Lu Yun concentrated on controlling the 2 new runes, the battleship approached rapidly towards the mountain range where the Sky Brilliance sect was located. "Senior brother, I heard in the dining hall this morning that one of our sect's supreme elders and a few Golden Body Realm elders went to intercept a demon suppression army. They haven't returned after 2 days. Do you think something bad might have happened? Don't talk nonsense. If the enforcers hear you, they'll surely charge you with the crime of disturbing the public's mind." Outside the Sky Brilliance sect, 2 patrolling disciples whispered to each other as they glanced around and relaxed only after confirming that there was no one else nearby. Boom! At that moment, they heard a sky-breaking noise approaching, and, looking up, they saw an enormous object covering the sky in the distance. What kind of sea beast is that? How could it be so huge? A puzzled expression appeared on one patrolling disciple's face as his mouth gaped. The other patrolling disciple looked up as well, and his face immediately changed upon seeing the gigantic battleship. That's definitely not a sea beast. It's probably a battleship from the Demon Suppression Army. Hurry and signal the sect. Upon speaking, he quickly took out a jade slip, infused it with true chi, and activated a green sword radiance, which shot into the sky, illuminating the entire horizon. This jade slip was essential for every patrolling disciple. If a sea beast or an enemy invaded, they had to release the reserved sword radiance right away. As soon as the soaring sword radiance was detected, the mountain protection array of the Sky Brilliance sect was activated immediately. As a sect with thousands of years of heritage and established here for 800 years, the Sky Brilliance sect's sect protection array was extremely powerful. The moment it was activated, the sky was filled with azure light, intersecting across the sky. Then, on the 9 peaks of the Sky Brilliance sect, rainbow lights appeared one after another. These were all powerful people of the Sky Brilliance sect, who had long learned of the Demon Suppression Army's intrusion into the profound darkness domain, and the news of the Supreme Elder's failed attempt to intercept them. Therefore, they were all on standby, ready to face the approaching crisis. At the moment the Mountain Protection Array was activated, all members of the Sky Brilliance sect, from the sect master and Supreme Elder to the newly joined disciples, emerged from seclusion right away. All who offend the Sky Brilliance sect shall be killed without mercy. The sect master of the Sky Brilliance sect stood in the air, surrounded by intertwining sword chi, his voice shaking in all directions. Supreme Elder Guandaozhou stood solemnly, his feet stepping on a green gourd. The other strong individuals of the Sky Brilliance sect were all on high alert as well. The Mori Jin Demon Suppression Army was quite well known among the 100 sects. Only the very top sects, such as the Red Moon Demon sect, the Nine Nether Demon sect, the Heavenly Mystery Sword sect, and the Green Cloud sect, could barely compete with them. Now, to counter just a small part of the Demon Suppression Army's power, the Sky Brilliance sect had to rely on all of its resources and still did not have much confidence in their ability to survive. There was no choice. The formidable and notorious strength of the Demon Suppression Army had deeply penetrated the hearts of the 100 sects. There was no sect that could survive wherever the Demon Suppression Army went, not even given the option to surrender. This meant that there was only one path left for the Sky Brilliance sect to fight to the death. In the distance, seeing the area covered in azure light, Lu Yun had a thought. It was within his expectations that the Sky Brilliance sect had a mountain protection array. After all, they could build an ambush at an extremely short time, using unfamiliar terrain to their advantage. From this alone, it could be guessed that the Sky Brilliance sect must have a mountain protection array. However, for the Demon Suppression Army, this protection array did not have much impact. General, the array breaking all is ready. Yi Xian held a black box in both hands, opened it, and released a black all the size of a fist. Lu Yun nodded slightly, holding the black all with one hand. This was the array-breaking all, similar in rank to the number 18 battleship and classified as superior treasures. Playing with the array-breaking all in his hand, Lu Yun's gaze fell on the intricate patterns on it, brewing a terrifying power. Last time, when he followed Wei Zongqing and the Black Mountain sect, he saw with his own eyes the use of an array-breaking all, easily breaking the Black Mountain sect's mountain protection array. Now, as the leading general attacking the Sky Brilliance sect, he finally had the chance to use it. It is said that with the full power of the array-breaking all, it can unleash an attack comparable to a full-strength strike by a Golden Core Realm expert. Today, I want to experience for myself just how powerful a Golden Core Realm expert's full-strength strike can be. Lu Yun thought to himself. Previously, although he had seen Golden Core Realm experts in action from afar, he had only felt the terrifying power of each of their moves, but didn't know exactly how powerful they were. Now, by utilizing the array breaking all's power, the opportunity had come. Thinking of this, he felt a slight excitement in his heart. I want to see just how great the gap between the Golden Core realm and me truly is. As soon as his words fell, he took a step off the battleship and came to the sky above the Sky Brilliance sect. With his right hand outstretched, the array breaking all appeared in his palm. To use the array breaking all, one had to mobilize True Origin and Law Rune. If one's strength was insufficient, the array breaking all would not achieve its full potential. This posed little challenge for Lu Yun. The immense Yuan Hai was activated, pouring all its power into the array breaking all. Immediately afterwards, the black array breaking all detached from his hand, emanating a deep black light and continuously expanding in size. Boom! As the array breaking all constantly grew in size, with it at the center, a series of thunder and lightning sounds could be heard in the surrounding void, stirring up a terrifying spatial ripple whose area of influence kept growing wider. It hasn't reached its limit yet. The endless pure Yang aura origin poured into the array, breaking all, causing it to grow even larger and unleash an increasingly terrifying force. The larger the array breaking all, the more terrifying the power of the final strike would be. When the array breaking all reached nearly 100 feet in size, the terrifying power contained within it made Lu Yun's heart tremble. But this was still not the limit of the array breaking all. Chapter 428, Chapter 428, Chapter 241, Treasure, Heavenly Splendor Sword. Chapter 428, Chapter 241, Treasure, Heavenly Splendor Sword. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron in the blink of an eye, the array breaking all grew from the size of a fist to 100-foot-tall giant peak. Suspended in midair, its terrifying power at the tip stirred up the wind and clouds, as if it would pierce through space at any moment. Hasn't the array breaking all reached its limit? Lu Yun was slightly shocked as he not only mobilized the power of his entire Yuan Hai, but also the strength of 27 runes. Nonetheless, he still felt that he hadn't unleashed the full power of the array breaking all. At the same time, the power contained within the array breaking all made Lu Yun's heart tremble. Although he currently only had 27 runes, when he fully exploded with power, he was no less inferior to a martial artist who had just entered the peak of the rune seed realm. Nevertheless, facing the still boundless array breaking all, he felt somewhat overwhelmed. Because of this, Lu Yun finally realized how far apart he was from the Golden Core realm. It looks like in the future, he'll have to stay far away from Golden Core realm martial artists. Regaining his composure, Lu Yun began seriously manipulating the 100-foot-tall array breaking all, aiming to pierce through the sect protection array that enveloped the Sky Brilliance sect. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. With a series of dreamlike explosions, the array breaking all, carrying a terrifying penetrating force, fiercely struck the Sky Brilliance sect protection array. The heavens and earth violently shook, while the 9 peaks of Sky Brilliance sect seemed to suffer from a powerful impact. Palace halls trembled violently, and towering trees shook intensely. Those Sky Brilliance sect experts, who were quietly hovering in midair, staggered. Their faces revealed a worried expression as they looked at the quivering protective barrier in the sky. The sect protection array had served as a barrier for their Sky Brilliance sect for hundreds of years, warding off many crises, including attacks from hostile sects and powerful sea beasts, but always standing firm. Now faced with the Mori-Jin demon suppression army, their confidence faltered. More than 800 years ago, Mori-Jin had relied on their powerful treasures to forcibly break through one mountain gate after another, driving out the 100 sect from the 9 provinces. And their Sky Brilliance sect was one of those sections. However, the difference back then was that the Sky Brilliance sect was relatively weaker and didn't receive much attention from Mori-Jin, so they chose to leave voluntarily. Today, facing the approach of the Mori-Jin demon suppression army, they could feel that the terrifying pressure even before engaging with them. Master, can the sect protection array withstand their attack? A white-robed young man flying on a sword looked at the middle-aged man beside him, his voice trembling. He had never encountered the demon suppression army before, nor knew of their terror. All he knew was that when his uncles in the sect mentioned the demon suppression army, their faces would change drastically. Now, faced with the arrival of the Morijin demon suppression army, everyone in the Sky Brilliance sect was on edge. Such a scene gave the young man a new impression of the demon suppression army, powerful, terrifying, and seemingly impossible to resist. Now, from their sect master to the ordinary disciples, everyone had been called out to face the enemy together. Yet, they still couldn't see any smiles on their faces, only solemnity and seriousness. The middle-aged man looked back at his disciple, calmed his emotions, and tried to maintain a calm expression. He moved his lips, wanting to say something to soothe his disciple's emotions. But at that moment, a thunder-like sound exploded, causing the heavens and earth to tremble violently. Then suddenly, the sky shook, the ground quaked, and his eyes fell on the green light curtain covering the sky and encompassing the Sky Brilliance sect. All of a sudden, a loud neigh rang out. In that instant, a strong uneasiness rose in his heart. Not good. The sect protection array can't hold on any longer. A sudden, alarmed cry beside him confirmed his fears. As expected, after that alarmed cry, the space around them trembled even more violently. Origin Fluid Realm martial artists could no longer remain in the air, while Golden Body Realm martial artists staggered. Only Sect Master Gongsun Shuerong and Supreme Elder Guan Daozhou stood firm. A crack sound suddenly echoed through everyone's ears. Following that, they saw a faint trace of light seeping through the green barrier protecting the Sky Brilliance sect in the sky. Soon enough, one crack after another appeared, interweaving and entangling with each other, forming a giant web. Bang! With a fierce sound, the barrier that had been covering the sky and capable of blocking Rune Seed Realm experts completely shattered. The countless rays of light from outside poured in fiercely, along with the awe-inspiring power contained within the array, breaking all of it entered the Sky Brilliance sect and manifested as countless streaks of light bombarding the 9 peaks above. The sect protection array is broken. The numerous Sky Brilliance sect disciples showed horror on their faces as they frantically fled. The streaks of light that shot down contained terrifying power, which could easily kill Origin Fluid Realm martial artists. Sect Master Gongsun Shuerong of the Sky Brilliance sect was surrounded by runes, stirring up a fierce wind that blocked the falling light rays. The Supreme Elder also danced with his green gourd, absorbing all the light rays that could destroy the mountains into his gourd. The remaining Golden Body Realm and Half-Step Rune Seed Realm experts also displayed their divine abilities, protecting their disciples from harm. They had no choice but to do so. If the sect's disciples suffered heavy casualties, even before the demon suppressive army was discovered, they could not withstand the siege of the demon suppressive army. Finally, an enormous cone-shaped giant peak flew out of the massive vortex with a loud, rumbling noise. Chapter 429, Chapter 429, Chapter 241, Treasure Artifact, Sky Brilliance Sword _2, Chapter 429, Chapter 241, Treasure Artifact, Sky Brilliance Sword _2, Lease reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M. It really is the array breaking all. Looking at the pitch-black array breaking all filled with terrifying power, a coldness and wariness filled the eyes of the Sky Brilliance sect Master Gongsun Shuerong. As the master of the Sky Brilliance sect, he knew the measures taken by the demon suppression army against the 100 sects, and had some doubts in the depths of his heart when the mountain protection array started to shake violently. Now, witnessing the immense all coming out of the whirlpool, he immediately understood what was going on. All elders quickly disperse the disciples and split up. Only then will we have a chance to resist, Gongsun Shuerong ordered, and the other elders took their orders one after another. Seeing the array breaking all about to fall, these elders naturally knew that they needed to temporarily avoid its sharp edge. Therefore, upon receiving the order, they didn't dare to delay, and immediately dispersed their disciples. Before long, the terrifying array breaking all heavily slammed into a towering mountain peak. Boom! The earth shattered, rocks flew, and billowing dust filled the sky as one of the 9 peaks of the Sky Brilliance sect, the White Cloud Peak, collapsed with a loud crash. Following that, an enormous warship slowly descended from the boundless depths of the sky and hovered above the Sky Brilliance sect. As the warship landed, powerful demon extermination generals turned into rainbows and charged towards the scattered disciples of the Sky Brilliance sect. Kill! With a loud shout, Qing Hao's body was covered in runes as he rushed towards a peak golden body realm elder. At this moment, he had already condensed rune seeds, becoming a half-step rune seed realm cultivator. He could not only mobilize the power of runes, but also release runes outside his body. His strength had increased by about 50% compared to before, and dealing with a peak golden body realm was nothing to him. Demon Suppression Army. Seeing the rainbows flying out of the enormous warship, murderous intent filled the eyes of the sect master of Sky Brilliance sect. In just a few breaths, he had probed the details of the Demon Suppression Army that had descended here. With just 2 half-step rune seed realm cultivators, and an army numbering less than 10,000, there was nothing to fear. The only thing that made him feel some pressure was the young man wearing a black treasure sword, whose aura was incredibly condensed. Even though the other party was only a golden body realm cultivator, a realm lower than him, he still felt a little alarmed. Suppressing his apprehension, he flew into the air, reaching the same height as Lu Yun, and let his booming voice be heard. My Sky Brilliance sect has never offended Morijin. Why does the Demon Suppression Army attack my sect today? Morijin and the 100 sects are 2 opposing sides. If there is one, there cannot be the other. Even this simple truth you don't understand, you are not worthy to be the master of a sect. Lu Yun said indifferently, with an indescribable calm on his face. Gongsun Zukrong's face was icy, his eyes gloomy. Since it is Morijin oppressing the 100 sects, and not my Sky Brilliance sect offending Morijin, I won't hesitate to take action. I will suppress and kill you and this Demon Suppression Army here, and gather the 100 sects together in the future to jointly attack Morijin. Perhaps there will be a day when the 100 sects alliance comes, but your Sky Brilliance sect will have no chance. Lu Yun still did not take action, only engaging in casual verbal attacks with his opponent. His posture was very relaxed, as if he didn't care about Gongsun Shuerong, a mid-rune seed realm expert. Seeing this, Gongsun Shuerong seemed to think of something, and thought to himself, the demon extermination generals of the Demon Suppression Army are decisive in killing. They won't speak when they can act. Now he is delaying time. It seems that using the array breaking all earlier has consumed a lot of his strength. With this thought, his eyes suddenly burst with an extremely chilling light, akin to a sharp sword piercing through the sky. His gaze was icy, and murderous intent erupted like a volcano. All his prior apprehensions regarding Lu Yun were due to not knowing the depths of his opponent's strength. Now that he had a hint, he took action boldly. The sword was drawn from its scabbard, sword intent soaring high. A chorus of 10,000 swords sounded, and the residual might surged like waves, covering the sky above the Sky Brilliance sect. Sky Brilliance sword! As he saw the sword light that resembled a long rainbow flying, an almost imperceptible gleam appeared in Lu Yun's eyes. According to the Demon Suppression Army's information, the Sky Brilliance sect's treasure was a sword named Sky Brilliance, a mid-level treasure artifact. As soon as the sword is drawn from the scabbard, it stirs up a tide of sword intent, causing 10,000 swords to chime together. It's truly worthy of being a mid-level treasure artifact. Lu Yun chuckled softly, raising his fist, gripping it tightly. The clash of the treasure armor unleashed an exhilarating roar, as if shattering the void. A terrifying punch was blasted out, with a golden flame, roaring, transforming into a massive heavenly lion that charged towards Gongsun Xuerong. As the punch was launched, the powerful force and the golden energy caused the space to tremble as if it had been struck by numerous cracks like ripples on a lake's surface. With the punch's overwhelming force, as violent and domineering as thunder, as heavy and powerful as a mountain, and carrying the momentum of crushing decay and rottenness, Gongsun Xuerong immediately felt an extremely fierce power squeezing his body from all directions, furiously bombarding him, trying to crush and explode his gold body. This kind of power has at least the force of 300 dragons. Gongsun Xuerong could only exclaim in shock internally as he manifested runes to strengthen his gold bodice defense. Swinging the unsheathed Sky Brilliance sword, a silver-white sword light perfectly displayed its unparalleled sharpness, tearing apart the sky, and unstoppable as it struck towards the heavenly lion fist that had fallen like a bright meteor. Boom! Clang! The two terrifying attacks collided, shaking the deep sky. A thunder-like sound suddenly rang in everyone's ears, reaching the depths of their sea of consciousness. Chapter 430, Chapter 430, Chapter 241, Treasure Artifact, Sky Brilliance Sword _3, Chapter 430, Chapter 241, Treasure Artifact, Sky Brilliance Sword _3 Lease reading Omicron N Novel Cool. Omicron M, the sword light, slashed towards the golden heavenly lion giant fist, instantly colliding and tearing apart the enormous fist. The silvery white sword light was also shattered, with the residual fist force and sword chi crisscrossing the void. The sky was shaken, crashing into the valley, and the entire Sky Brilliance sect trembled ceaselessly. One by one, the martial artists engaged in intense battles, gazing at the roaring mountain peaks beside them and the mountaintops slashed by an unparalleled sword light, all gasped coldly. The might of Lu Yun and Gongsun Xuerong's battle was truly terrifying. If they were accidentally hit, they would have been killed instantly. Just a single sword has allowed him to enhance his strength to the late Rune Seed realm. It seems that the tier of the Sky Brilliance sword is extremely close to top-grade treasures. Thinking about this, the golden light in Lu Yun's eyes intensified. Up till now, the only treasure he had was the battle armor on his body, and the rest hadn't reached the treasure artifact level. If he could obtain this Sky Brilliance sword, his wealth would soar. Deep in the sky of the Sky Brilliance sect, the atmosphere was cold, murderous, and the aftermath of the previous battle swept through like a storm. Lu Yun's fists kept bombarding, like meteor showers, crushing the void with the heavenly lion giant fists. The vast and unyielding power filled the sky above the Sky Brilliance sect, causing the Demon Suppression Army and the martial artists of the Sky Brilliance sect to tremble uncontrollably. Feeling this endless, domineering, and unparalleled terrifying fist force, Gongsun Xuerong's face sank. He knew that he had seriously underestimated the horror of this demon extermination general. However, at this moment, there was no room for any hesitation. He took a deep breath and exhaled a turbid breath, gripping the Sky Brilliance sword with both hands, raising it high, and an unparalleled edge flowed on the sword. Slash! The silvery white sword light tore the sky, breaking through the air like a bamboo shoot, tearing apart wave after wave of the punches, and cutting towards the domineering and unparalleled Lu Yun. Lu Yun smiled faintly as his golden light surged once again. With a more potent punch, he unleashed a horrifying amount of power, shattering the silver-white sword light that threatened to cleave the earth. Upon seeing this scene, Gongsun Zhurong's expression grew even more solemn. In the previous slash, he had mobilized all the power of the runes, and had even poured in the 7th-rank sword intent, making this sword strike nearly reach the limit of the late rune seed realm. Yet it was so easily shattered, and the other party's strength was truly terrifying. Shattering the sword light with a single punch, Lu Yun's eyes suddenly flashed with an astonishingly intense purple thunderbolt, as his horrifying aura grew even stronger, standing tall like a thunder god in the void. If you don't have more powerful strength, then this battle will end here. With a booming sound, Lu Yun stirred up a surge of purple thunderbolt, which seemed to shatter the void, and violently charged towards Gongsun Xuerong. Gongsun Xuerong only felt that his sea of consciousness trembled, and his gold body was shaken. The powerful force of suppression came from all directions, causing him to momentarily forget to swing his sword again. Lu Yun had already closed the distance, unleashing his full strength without reservation. The punch transformed into a roaring heavenly lion that shattered the void, mercilessly hurtling towards the opponent's chest. The punch hadn't arrived yet, but the ferocious thunderbolt and terrifying fist force pressured him like a collapse of mountains, leaving him breathless. Block it! Block it! I must block it! At the last critical moment, Gongsun Xuerong relied on his strong willpower to break free from the powerful pressure. When the giant fist capable of obliterating everything was about to land, he sacrificed the Sky Brilliance sword, holding it in front of him. Boom! The terrifying fist force and the unstoppable power slammed into the Sky Brilliance sword, causing the sword to vibrate abruptly, bend significantly, but not break. As for Gongsun Xuerong, he was blasted back into the air by the immense force transmitted from the Sky Brilliance sword. Even if the Sky Brilliance sword had blocked 50% of the force, the remaining might was more than any mid-stage rune seed realm cultivator could handle. Crack! Gongsun Zhurong's body cracked like shattered glass, with golden blood splattering the sky. Lu Yun's gaze fell on the Sky Brilliance sword that had straightened once more, murmuring to himself, "No wonder it is a treasure-class sword. Even my full-strength attack didn't cause any damage." Knowing that his attack could not harm the Sky Brilliance sword, Lu Yun no longer hesitated and used his 3,000 thunder movement to close the distance with Gongsun Xuerong. Sky Lion shaking the sky. A punch was unleashed, the heavenly lion emerged and shattered the sky like a meteor. Gongsun Zhurong's gold body was instantly shattered. Sect Master. The martial artists of the Sky Brilliance sect couldn't help exclaiming, while the golden body realm experts looked worried. With the use of the Sky Brilliance sword, the sect master actually couldn't withstand that young demon extermination general. His strength was simply too terrifying. Could their sect master withstand such a strong battle strength? Is the heaven planning to destroy our Sky Brilliance sect? A white-haired, gray-haired golden body realm expert was smashed by a black-rank demon extermination general and spat out blood. This is the fourth one. Bailey E's blade light stretched out, killing an opponent in the origin fluid realm. Kill! Gu Yuan's giant axe swept out, emitting a howling axe light, fully suppressing a middle-aged martial artist. At this point, Gu Yuan was already in the mid-stage of the origin fluid realm, whereas his opponent had reached the late stage. However, as the battle progressed, the opponent was gradually suppressed by Gu Yuan. Of course, the battle between the Demon Suppression Army and the Sky Brilliance sect was somewhat evenly matched. In terms of peak strength, they even fell short. Lu Yun's main focus was on the sect master of the Sky Brilliance sect at this time, leaving no one to suppress the Rune Seed Realm opponent. Yi Xian had no choice but to step forward and face the Rune Seed Realm. Chapter 431. Chapter 431. Chapter 241, Treasure Artifact, Sky Brilliance Sword _4. Chapter 431, Chapter 241, Treasure Artifact, Sky Brilliance Sword _ For lease reading Omicron and Novelcool. Omicron M. Supreme Elder Guan Daozhou of the Sky Brilliance sect had broken through to the Rune Seed realm by taking a large amount of pills. Although his combat abilities were not top-notch, the gourd in his hand was unrivaled in attack and defense, allowing him to easily suppress Yixian. My current strength has reached its limit at the Golden Body Realm stage. If I want to continue to improve it, I can only draw out Thunder Tribulation and officially advance to the Rune Seed realm. Resisting the surging blood coming up to his throat, Yixian instantly increased the distance between himself and his opponent. In this battle against the Rune Seed realm, he didn't seek victory, but just sought to not be defeated. As long as he could stall this Rune Seed realm powerhouses, the final victory would eventually belong to the Demon Suppression Army. Guan Daozhou obviously realized this as well. Wanting to end the battle quickly and go support Gongsun Shuerong, he became more and more aggressive, constantly urging the green gourd to spew out a massive amount of rune light and unleashing a Sei-like attack on Yixian. Yixian, as a black-rank demon extermination general, had fought in countless battles and had a wealth of experience. He fought while retreating, never giving his opponent an opportunity. Although Guan Daozhou had minimal combat experience, as an ancient old-timer, he was flexible. Since his opponent was avoiding battle, he decided to give up on killing him and instead aimed for the other demon extermination generals. Treacherous old fox. Yixian secretly cursed and had no choice but to personally make a move, charging towards him. Humph, this time, let's see how you escape. With a buzzing sound, Guan Da's giant hand filled the sky and struck down in one direction, obscuring the sun and smashing towards the charging Yixian. This giant hand was too powerful, shrouded in runes, enough to shatter a mountain peak. This was the prowess of a Rune Seed realm powerhouse, even if it was merely an inferior rune seed condensed by relying on pills. Yixian stretched out his hand, and in between the purple radiance, a long sword seemed to be drawn from the void's scabbard. The sword intent was vast like water, emitting a magnificent and dazzling light. Clang! The sword radiance and rune hand collided violently, with the sword radiance shattering and the rune hand being torn apart by the sword radiance. Is this your trump card? Guan Daozhou spoke aloud, his voice echoing in the air. If it's just this, then let this old man send you on your way. Old geezer, come and try. Yixian held the sword horizontally, staring firmly at his opponent. He exhaled a turbid breath, condensing his full sword intent to its peak. He had always been low-key and rarely used his full strength. But this time, facing the Rune Seed realm head-on, he dared not hold back in the slightest. The sword rang like thunder, echoing through the clear sky for thousands of miles, casting a vast purple sea that seemed to reflect in one's heart, giving an indescribable sense of oppression. Yixian held the sword horizontally across the sky, standing like a sword god between the heaven and earth, his entire Bodis sword intent soaring. This time, he didn't avoid the attack, but chose to take the initiative. Purple lightning unrivaled. Yixian whispered, his figure swaying like a sudden flash of thunder in the void, appearing above Guan Daozhou. With a slash of the sword, the purple sword light shone brilliantly and directly chopped on his opponent's green gourd, leaving a faint trace on the gourd that was comparable to a superior profound artifact. Staring at the shallow crack on the gourd, Guan Da's eyes instantly shrank. His incredibly tough and unparalleled defensive treasure gourd was actually cracked by one sword from a mere half-step Rune Seed realm youngster. A faint light shone from the crack, slowly healing the gourd. At the same time, Guan Daozhou had no choice but to take the gourd back. This was not an ordinary treasure, as it was key to his ability to refine high-quality pills. He couldn't risk using it against his enemies any longer. If there were even the slightest mistake, his status as a seventh-grade alchemist would be impossible to maintain. Having achieved success with one sword, Yi Xian also secretly heaved a sigh of relief. If using purple lightning unrivaled couldn't injure his opponent, there would be a huge problem. He might not be able to hold out until support arrived, and he himself might be defeated. Fortunately, the purple lightning unrivaled sword managed to damage his opponent's precious gourd, causing him to be hesitant in his heart. Chapter 432, Chapter 432, Chapter 242, Sky Brilliance Sect Destroyed, Energy Value Approaching 1 million, Chapter 432, Chapter 242, Sky Brilliance Sect Destroyed, Energy Value Approaching 1 million. Lease reading Omicronim Novelcool. Omicronim, the cries of battle within and outside Sky Brilliance Sect Sword, as every demon extermination general and guard launched their assault. Deep in the air, spiritual peaks, scripture repository, medicine field, and every inch of the mountains turned into a battlefield, shrouded in a deadly atmosphere, with blood soaking into the soil and killing intent filling the sky. Too much bullying. Law enforcement elder of Sky Brilliance Sect's eyes turned blood red, his body dripping with blood, completely suppressed by Qing Ho. With an angry roar, a dense torrent of lightning shot out. With a loud rumble, a dozen or so demon extermination guards who were not careful were instantly struck and turned to charred bodies. "Old man, your opponent is me, don't run away." Qing Ho flicked his spear, and a burst of spear chi surged across, causing the law enforcement elder's body to shatter once more with a spray of blood. Meanwhile, two more people charged over. They were all powerful golden body realm cultivators of Sky Brilliance Sect, attacking Qing Ho together. 3 against 1. This situation is not good. Although Qing Ho was arrogant, he wasn't conceited. He could suppress a half-step rune seed cultivator head-on. But when paired with a late golden body realm and a golden body realm peak, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Knowing his limits, he decided to temporarily retreat. At this moment, a loud explosion suddenly echoed from the depths of the sky. Billowing ocean. Blood-covered Gong Sun Xuerong angrily shouted, stabbing out a sword without any reservation. The sword was as fast as a shooting star, in the twinkling of an eye, reaching the limit of speed. The sword chi was radiant, and the sword intent spread across the sky like a torrential ocean, with each layer pressing forward. This sword was Gongsun Zurong's ultimate sword, unparalleled and elegant, a full display of power. His purpose with this sword was to severely injure Lu Yun, and buy a breath of life for his sect. It was released without reservation, like a meteor streaking across the sky, but only for an instant of brilliance, like a moth darting into the flame, seeking that ray of light and warmth. Gongsun Zurong's ultimate sword burst forth, almost reaching the peak of the rune seed realm, sending out an astonishing sword force and a vast sword radiance as it closed in for the kill. Rune seed realm midstage, with the aid of the Sky Brilliance sword, exploded with an almost equal to Rune Seed Realm Peak sword attack. Even Lu Yun slightly felt a tinge of shock in his heart. However, this shock quickly vanished, and his mind returned to calmness. Sky Brilliance Sect was a force that the Mori Jin Demon Suppression Army must eliminate. As for Gongsun Xuerong, he was also an enemy that Lu Yun must eliminate, and he would not show any mercy. A flash of golden light flickered in Lu Yun's eyes, his arms trembled, and an immense power erupted, with a terrifying force surging like a violent tide, and the surrounding void quivering under pressure. Unleashing the terrifying power to its extreme, the sky seemed broken as ripples formed, the clouds tumbled like waves. An earth-shaking punch roared out, with the golden energy exploding on the surface of the fist. This punch shattered the void and suppressed the mountains and seas. Under this punch, the ultimate sword shattered inch by inch, exploding into countless sword chi, swirling like a mist in all directions, tearing everything apart but unable to get close to Lu Yun. It seems that in the end, effort still cannot overcome fate. In the final moments of Gongsun Zurong's life, he muttered. The soft voice shattered into nothingness under the onslaught of the raging winds. His severely injured body, which also burst forth with his ultimate sword, shattered completely. The gold body undefeated is because it hasn't reached the physical limit. As his life force rapidly extinguished, Gongsun Zurong's not-so-strong body began to fall towards a canyon in the Sky Brilliance sect like a meteorite. Sect Master. The Golden Body Realm cultivators from the Sky Brilliance sect reacted first, crying out in alarm. They then whipped up an immense killing intent, one after another abandoning their opponents and rushing towards Lu Yun. Seek revenge for the Sect Master. That was the only belief in their hearts. Although they knew it was a hopeless fight, they still threw themselves into battle without regard for their lives. Regarding this, Lu Yun's expression remained as calm as water, with him just standing casually in the air. Immediately, the electric glow flickered in his eyes. A purple sphere appeared, like a string of sparkling orbs traversing the sky, emitting a dazzling purple thunderbolt, which made people unable to keep their eyes open. His thunder conception had already reached the 7th rank, allowing him to easily call upon the thunderbolts of the surrounding area. Without the aid of a thunder cultivation technique, the power wasn't very strong, but it was more than enough to deal with some Golden Body Realm cultivators. Boom! A series of purple thunderbolts exploded, displaying the strongest thunder force, which turned these irrational Golden Body cultivators into moths diving into the raging flames. Like crushing ants, Lu Yun swiftly dealt with his opponents and flashed into the canyon. At this point, Gongsun Zurong's life force had completely vanished, his breath gone, but he still clutched the Sky Brilliance sword tightly in both hands. After taking the Sky Brilliance sword and the Sumi ring, Lu Yun tapped his fingertip, and a stream of pure white flame leaped out, gently landing on Gongsun Zurong's corpse. Even in death, a rune seed cultivator's body isn't easily destroyed by ordinary forces. Still, under the 7th rank White Lotus flame, it didn't resist much and was soon reduced to ashes. After doing all this, Lu Yun returned to the battlefield. With the fall of Sect Master Gongsun Xuerong and several Golden Body Realm cultivators killed by Lu Yun, the Sky Brilliance sect was suddenly thrown into a disadvantage. As the powerful cultivator Lu Yun rejoined the battlefield, he brought an early end to the battle of Sky Brilliance sect's destruction. In this battle, from the Sect Master Gongsun Xuerong to the various disciples, no one from the Sky Brilliance sect survived. Chapter 433, Chapter 433, Chapter 242. The Sky Brilliance sect is eradicated. Energy levels approaching 1,000,000_2. Chapter 433, Chapter 242. The Sky Brilliance sect is eradicated. Energy levels approaching 1,000,000_2. Lease reading Omicron and Novel Cool. Omicron M, the Demon Suppression Army, also suffered heavy losses, with only 12 black-rank demon extermination generals, 118 yellow-rank demon extermination generals, and 6,032 demon extermination guards remaining. But after round of battles, the weakest of the remaining demon extermination guards are all in the true Qi realm. As long as they fully digest the gains from this battle, the number of yellow-rank demon extermination generals will surge, and the number of black-rank demon extermination generals will also increase. General, what should we do next? Yi Xian, Qing Ho, and other demon extermination generals came to Lu Yun's side and asked quietly. Lu Yun took a look at several people and instructed, Feng Hui, you are responsible for cleaning up the battlefield. Qing Ho is responsible for acquiring the book collection pavilion from Sky Brilliance and listing all the cultivation martial arts for me to review. Meng Fan, you are responsible for collecting the treasury of the Sky Brilliance sect. all weapons should be handed over, but all pills and spirit crystals should be tallied and reported to me for decision. Yes. Qing Ho, Feng Hui, Meng Fan, and the others became serious and accepted their orders accordingly. They found nothing abrupt about such a division of labor. The Sky Brilliance sect was destroyed, and all inheritance, techniques, and so on would be tallied and handed over to the imperial court later. As for resources like pills and spirit crystals, there is no need for confiscation. It is always internally distributed within the demon suppression army. At this moment, someone stepped forward and whispered, "General, there are spies from some other sects outside the Sky Brilliance sect's mountain gate that we have captured. Do you want to interrogate them?" "There's no need. Execute them all on spot." Catching spies was commonplace, and Lu Yun had no intention of going to question them either, because before long there would be no more sects left in the South Nether Prefecture. Lastly, his gaze fell on Yi Xian. "As for you, you can just prepare to lure the Thunder Tribulation." "Thank you, General." Yi Xian bowed his hands in respect. He had already condensed rune seeds a long time ago, and had practiced for a long time in this realm. Therefore, he already had a solution for the Thunder Tribulation. After a series of battles, his foundation became more solid. Even if he didn't lure the Thunder Tribulation would come naturally. In less than half a day, Qing Ho had emptied the book collection pavilion of the Sky Brilliance sect. "General, I found 232 types of cultivation techniques from the Sky Brilliance sect, among which there are 5 Rune Seed Realm cultivation techniques, 12 Golden Body Realm cultivation techniques, 35 Origin Fluid Realm cultivation techniques, 180 techniques below the Transforming Origin Realm, and 81 types of foundational martial arts. Furthermore, I found some pill recipe scrolls. There is one orange-colored scroll, which should be a 7th grade pill recipe." "Give me the orange scroll, and after I read the 5 Rune Seed Realm cultivation techniques, then confiscate all of them together." Lu Yun said indifferently, "Yes." Not long after Qing Ho left, Meng Fan arrived, reporting to the general, "This time we have collected over 10,000 various weapons from the treasury of the Sky Brilliance sect, mainly swords and blades, including 8 superior profound artifacts, 25 top-grade mysterious weapons, 52 mid-level mysterious weapons, along with a variety of other weapons. Also, we have obtained a large number of earthly spiritual objects suitable for refining equipment and pills, including a batch of attribute spiritual objects. Finally, we have obtained a lot of pills and spirit crystals. The exact number has yet to be calculated." Lu Yun thought for a moment, and then asked, "How many 7th grade pills are there?" "Only 12. Each 7th grade pill is extremely valuable. It is already remarkable that the treasury of the Sky Brilliance sect has 12. This is because they have a 7th grade alchemist. Divide 5 for me, and if someone breaks through to the Rune Seed realm, reward 1. Upon hearing this, Meng Fan's eyes lit up. The general's wisdom is unmatched. He had already inscribed more than 70 runes and had reached the peak of the Golden Body realm, not far from condensing rune seeds. When the time comes, as long as he passes the 1 to 3 Thunder Tribulation, he can achieve the Rune Seed realm. It can be said that he has almost secured a 7th grade pill, which of course made him extremely excited. Take out a portion of the weapons and pills and put all the attribute spiritual objects on the trade bar for other soldiers in need to exchange. As for the spirit crystals, take out 30% and give them as compensation to the families and descendants of the fallen soldiers. Soon, the news of the Sky Brilliance sect being destroyed spread within the Far Suppression Legion. Within the Far Suppression Legion, there are channels for sharing information. Moreover, with treasures like the Star Plate, the Earth-rank demon extermination generals easily got the real news. Seeing the blue, representing the Sky Brilliance sect disappear from the star plate, Wei Zongqing looked a little surprised. He hastened day and night into the South Nether Prefecture, just to join Lu Yun in attacking the Sky Brilliance sect. Conquering a sect like this, the resources that would be obtained are not few, especially a sect like Sky Brilliance, which has much more resources than the Black Mountain sect. However, he had just entered the South Nether Prefecture not long ago, and the marker of the Sky Brilliance sect disappeared from the star plate, which undoubtedly thwarted his plan. The sect master of Sky Brilliance sect is halfway through the Rune Seed realm, plus they possess an unparalleled sword. Their combat power is terrifying. Even if I hold the Black Mountain seal, I'm not sure if I can defeat them. Under such conditions, the Sky Brilliance sect was still destroyed. It seems that Lu Yun's strength has undergone a major increase. He was very clear about the strength under Lu Yun's command. Besides Lu Yun, there is no other Rune Seed realm combat power in his command. Even in the half-step Rune Seed realm, there is only one. While the Sky Brilliance sect has 3 Rune Seed realm experts, and warriors of the Golden Body realm exceed the number of Lu Yun's black-rank demon extermination generals. Under such a disparity in strength, the Sky Brilliance sect was still destroyed, with the only explanation being that Lu Yun killed 3 Rune Seed realm experts single-handedly. Compared to this, the Earth-rank demon extermination generals like Bai Changfeng and Zhuang Ziyuan seemed much calmer. Chapter 434, Chapter 434, Chapter 242. The Sky Brilliance sect is eradicated, energy levels approaching 1,000,000_3. Chapter 434, Chapter 242. The Sky Brilliance sect is eradicated, energy levels approaching 1,000,000_3. Lease reading Omicron and Novelcool. Omicron M, accompanied by the simultaneous recommendations of the Far Suppression Legion and the Blue Blade Legion, more than a dozen prefectures such as Dark Cloud Manor, Ba Mountains Prefecture, South Nether Prefecture, and Civil Authority County all fell into the hands of the Demon Suppression Army. Since then, half of the Profound Darkness domain has become part of the Morijin territory. Time slowly passed, and the Demon Suppression Army continued to advance. The final confrontation between the Blue Blade Legion, Far Suppression Legion, and the remnants of the Profound Darkness sect and Dragon Tiger Mountain getting closer and closer. Aside from that, the other legions of the Demon Suppression Army were also fighting on various fronts. Sky Brilliance sect atop Flying Dust Peak. At this moment, Lu Yun was cultivating. After a golden diamond-shaped rune formed, his consciousness fell onto the panel. Name: Lu Yun, Power, Flying Spirit Martial Academy, Demon Suppression Army Cultivation Technique, Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon, Golden Body Episode, Perfection 34%, Astonishing Wind Extreme Saber Manual, 5th Layer, Destruction 100%, Life Destruction Saber Techniques, 2nd Layer, Unparalleled Blood Blade, 100%, Wind Thunder Manual, 3rd Layer, Instant Horizon 100%, 5th Scripture, 2nd Layer, Sky Lion Shaking the Sky 100%, Finger Scripture, 1st Layer, Formless Tribulation, Finger 100%, Innate Talent, Level 9, Martial Arts, Golden Body Realm Peak, 34 runes, Energy Value, 959,000, automatically increases by 50 daily. Conception, Slaughter Conception, 7th rank 1%. Thunder Conception, 7th rank 1%. Spatial Conception, 6th rank 1%. Skills, Level 6 Alchemy Technique, 27%. Talent, White Lotus Flame, 7th rank 1%. Luck Value, 17 at this moment. His energy value had reached more than 900,000, infinitely close to breaking 1 million. Apart from this, the law runes inside him had reached 33. With 36 law runes, he could condense low-grade rune seeds. Lu Yun was only 3 runes away from condensing rune seeds. However, Lu Yun didn't even care about top-grade rune seeds, let alone the low-grade ones. Putting away the panel, with a slight movement of his thoughts, 3 steels appeared in front of him. These 3 steels each represented a different cultivation technique. The first steel had a few small characters on the top that read Yang Extreme Manual, with the remaining text invisible. Only by merging one's spirit into it could any information be sensed. The second steel was a saber technique of the rune seed realm level named Sky Wind Saber Technique. The third steel was a sword technique, also at the rune seed realm level, called Sky Brilliance Thundersword True Art. In addition to that, there were 2 more steels with inscriptions of rune seed realm level techniques, also saber and sword techniques. However, after looking through them once, Lu Yun had given up on them, ultimately choosing the Sky Wind Saber technique and the Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art. If it weren't for obtaining the Sky Brilliance Sword, Lu Yun wouldn't have wanted the Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art Sither. After taking out the 3 inheritance steels, Lu Yun began to comprehend them one by one. Rune seed realm level cultivation techniques were far more difficult to comprehend than others. Even with Lu Yun's level 9 and 8 talent, it took him almost half a day to comprehend these 3 techniques. Cultivation techniques: Yang Extreme Manual, pre-entry; Sky Wind Saber Technique, pre-entry; Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art, pre-entry. All 3 techniques appeared on the panel. Upgrade. Muttering inwardly, the energy value on the panel disappeared. Expending 1,000 energy units, Yang Extreme Manual advanced to entry level and is now available for fusion. Expending 1,000 energy units, Sky Wind Saber Technique advanced to entry level and is now available for fusion. Expending 1,000 energy units, Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art advanced to entry level. After spending 10,000 energy units, the Extreme Yang Law Manual and the Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon were fused, increasing the Pure Yang Martial Arts Canon from 6th rank to 7th rank. 7th rank was the Rune Seed chapter. Half an hour later, after spending another 10,000 energy units, the Astonishing Wind Saber Manual and the Sky Wind Saber Technique were fused to create the lower 6th layer, Traceless. Expending 50,000 energy units, Astonishing Wind Saber Manual's 6th layer, Traceless advanced to 100%. The Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art had 3 stages. The first stage, one sword terminates the world. The second stage, one sword terminates the void. The third stage, one invincible strike. After spending 60,000 energy units, the Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art was upgraded to perfection. It must be said that the Sky Brilliance Thunder Sword True Art was extremely powerful, and even among Rune Seed Realm techniques, it was among the top tier. Unfortunately, no one from the Sky Brilliance sect was able to learn all 3 stages. The sect master had tried his best, and with the help of the Sky Brilliance sword, he could display the most powerful attack. One sword terminates the world. Unfortunately, he still couldn't defeat Lu Yun and ultimately perished in battle.